disappear from our plane.
And maybe could have
and the
asked him a
spell-
question afterwards.
If
The
your
spell-
check meets the DC of the spell, which it does not, you're not sure what spell that was used. So that's easy.
Pretty sure you said it, but I don't know if I.
I remember the very specific depiction of it, and it did not sound like. Well, I don't know how.
It's certainly not like the elemental plane of air.
No, but I think Chris said what spell it was.
I might have in language used the
Oh.
words of the spell.
Yes, you did, because I remember what it is, and I'm not going to say it.
The spell that you don't good? Oh, plane shift or something.
Okay. That's what Steve didn't want. I love it.
Correct.
I love it. Oh, I'll name that thing you didn't want to name. I got you. All right, we got our D8s grouped. We got our D20s grouped.
What are you rolling? You're not swinging things.
But you never know. My unarmed attacks do 6 damage flat.
My unarmed attacks do 0.
How much can mine do?
It's 1 plus your strength modifier, and mine is -1.
Roulette, you don't have to rely on your strength. You have a magic pencil.
Yeah. Also, my unarmed strikes are +5
You have a magic pencil.
because I think I get intelligence for my unarmed strikes.
No, I don't think so. It's +5 to hit, probably.
Oh, it is.
Damage
You're
is
true.
a flat
You're
number.
true.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're true. You're true.
Mine's +9 to hit.
I'm proficient with my hands.
You're also proficient with your and get
That's-
to add intelligence, I think, to your magic pencil since it's magic.
Your magic
So
pencil?
that's- yeah. Isn't that what Percy Jackson has? A magic pen or
It's a
something?
pen, yeah, it's
When
into
he
a sword.
uncaps
Eh,
it,
yeah.
it becomes his sword.
And if he loses it, it appears back in his pocket. It's so sick.
Also, I can turn it into an arcane weapon pencil.
That's awesome. Is the Percy Jackson show good? Has anyone watched it?
I haven't
Me
watched it
too. It's criminal that me, a long-time Percy Jackson fan, haven't watched it yet. But
It looks
sounds,
really good.
It sounds like it's doing really well.
Yeah,
Good.
people are into it. The casting apparently is so good.
Very cool.
I'm curious about time frame for when we want to cut off tonight. Because did the East Coasters have a snow day, or did you guys work today?
What?
What?
Did you guys work today?
Yes.
So what's your fading point?
I just had a cup of coffee, so I'm pretty good. Should be good for. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
You guys have a snow day today?
Yes.
Ooh,
We have one on Tuesday too. I'm a little spoiled brat, and we have MLK Day off, so we have the kids. We just all got a 4-day weekend out of nowhere.
Damn.
Should we play a game where you guys guess if Forshaws is taking off for MLK Day?
Oh, that's funny.
I don't get
The
off
answer
either.
is no.
I also do not get off MLK Day.
I don't know if I get it off at the
Which
college,
one
but I'm not going to.
specifically was funny.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, do we want to dive into things? I'm gonna preface this with I don't always do the best job as a DM of when important characters come into play. Sometimes it's hard to facilitate the opportunities for you guys to do things or say things. I will periodically sort of pause at times, and if I can find ways to, I will try and purposefully engage you guys, but please pause me and stop me if there's things you want to do, or say or think or intuit or whatever. Seize chances to do stuff, because I will be talking a little bit toward the beginning of this session probably, but just seize chances. Otherwise, we can dig in here.
I know we get spoiled.
It is currently early in the morning of Lordas, 15th of Sun's Dawn. You all, the Forsaken Winds, alongside General Mathros, Loonsong, began negotiations yesterday with Talon Moira of Durast. In exchange for your troops' immediate surrender, Mathros ensured that their lives would all be spared, at least for now. Then, following that exchange, in exchange for Moira taking Jiri and all of you with her back to her temporary lab at Lux Monastery, further west in Creatia, she promised to release you all in 1 week's time, pending any adjustments should you meet and undergo differences in the sentencing from King Zavar, who she suggested you might meet. And last we left off, after Jiri was forcefully separated from his patron entity, the Hex Metal, some being bound to a dread iron substance, a being known as Hyperivel, Jiri has fallen quite ill overnight, shivering uncontrollably, along with a handful of other maladies. Jiri, you currently have 5 points of exhaustion.
Jesus Christ, is he dead?
Did you say 5?
5 points of exhaustion. And Roulette, he had spent the night in your room overnight until now. One of the Reavers has walked throughout this corridor and opened the doors to all of your cells, allowing your exit from them and saying that the Talon wants to see you. His Majesty is arriving shortly. Marching at his side were several dark iron spheres reminiscent of Roulette's creation, Alfie. They glow red and fiery from within, like some sort of internal core superheating and providing power to these units, and they clink on diligently behind the Reaver, leading you all down this corridor. Rome, overnight, had done a commune with nature and then a plant growth, and created a false husk of your body. The Reaver confusedly sort of kicked it over, and like a dead and dried shrub, it just sort of rattled and fell. And not knowing the nuances of what magic or death of a spirit this might be, simply grabbed it, and now like a small dead Christmas tree just holds it under his arm as he leads all of you outward. And Rome, you are currently in what form?
Spider.
You are a spider, hidden in the corner of your cell. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Look at a +9.
Wow. Nat
Nice.
20.
Holy Christ. Start out well.
Nice.
Overnight, while you had communed with nature and begun a plant growth, you gained very assured evidence that although roots and cracks in the stonework of this cellar were available at least to facilitate your magic, there are no seeming burrow holes or nooks and crannies with which you might be able to escape the cellar should the door fully close behind you. And with the nat 20, as the Reaver left with the false husk you created, you saw the sigil glyph outside each of your doors dim as the door was left open. Before he ends up closing it, like he has done with all of the rest of your party, you have a moment to escape if you want. Would you like to try to unseemly exit into the corridor?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check. although you have your mantle on and wild shape can generally accommodate some gear, the mantle doesn't shrink with you. It would have to adorn your current form. So you don't get to the benefit of bonus action hiding right now, but I'll let your expertise with stealth still apply.
But and it's also not with advantage because I obviously don't have the boots.
Correct.
It's just a normal roll. Okay.
Yep. I just wanted to clarify that your stealth checks in this form won't be able to be used with a bonus action.
Yeah, fair.
But with a 19, just as the door is closing, you're able to skitter out the door and onto the wall of this corridor. And the moment each of these doors are closed, you all see these glyphs reactivate every time, seemingly some sort of indication that the door is locked and secured. But otherwise, you all begin to be led by the Reaver and flanked forward and backward by several of these Iron Guardians.
Jiri ain't going anywhere though.
That's true. Roulette, as you begin to move forward and the marching line sort of continues, first of all, Toby Rama, do you follow?
Yeah, until I have, a reason not to.
Okay. Roulette, as you begin to follow, you immediately notice that Jiri behind you is like, as soon as you helped him out of your cell and let go of him, he's like gripping. Well, Jiri, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, Jiri like collapses back down to the ground and he's kind of just like curled up.
I scooped you.
Okay, Telperion, you were next to Jiri.
Yeah. I
when you
picked
pick
him
up Jiri, he feels like half his weight. He's like, and he seems just like his like flesh almost feels like soft to the touch. Like he doesn't feel as like solid. Like you felt him before, right? But like this just feels like off to you. His body just does not seem right.
Just like seeing him collapse and sad looking, I will go up to him, put my hands on his temples, and I'm gonna cast Intellect Fortress on him. It's just verbal, so I will just like whisper some stuff. You can't take psychic damage, and you have advantage on intelligence, charisma, wisdom saving throws for an hour.
So now a neutral roll.
As I'm carrying Jiri, I'm going to like kind of link my mind with his and kind of squeeze him close, and I'm gonna use my ability to second wind or psionic pulse into him, so giving him half of a second wind.
Okay.
Not knowing if it's gonna be effective, but like wanting to help him.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check when you do that.
Okay. 17.
17. You've done this before with limited effectiveness, and for the first time you gain the clarity that you can do this with full effectiveness by expending one side eye should you choose to.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Neat.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, so probably not even.
So, by using one side eye, you can grant your second wind to someone else.
I rolled a 9, so I'm a level 9 fighter, so 18 help HP.
Does that? I don't think that heals me anything, right? Because my hit point max is reduced, right?
I don't think it's effective. I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Well, Jiri's gonna like latch on to you when he feels this like healing pulse radiate through him. He's gonna like stir awake, and his eyes, he's kind of, even it's like though it's dim in here, he's like struggling to open his eyes, like he's like looking into a light that's like far too bright for him to see. And he'll say, Telperion, we gotta get Adras. I'm fading without his powers. I can't hold on much longer. The others are coming. Somehow. They are me. And we are. I don't understand, but I know Telperion. Adras, he can hold them back.
And like I'll take note of that. But then, I don't know, with the psionic pulse, like trying to give you physical, like warmth, holding you, and then like trying to like give you comfort with the side eye expenditure, just like help fortify your mind a little bit.
And yeah, Jiri will kind of just that like roused him a little bit, but he's like seeming like he's like falling back into like a stupor, and he's no longer saying anything to you at this moment.
I'm gonna reach out my mind to Toby. All right, Toby, can you do a sending really quick before we get into her presence? Will they detect you?
And I'll think back. Yes, I have to perform an incantation. They'll probably not be okay with me casting magic.
Well, fuck it. Just do this anyway. Because what are they gonna do? She's not here, so she can't tell. What if you told Minerva right now about that thing that we know of King Zabar? That he has some object in him that if it's removed, he dies. I want Minerva to know that before we go talk to him. And that we're in Lux Monastery by Ostanis.
Okay.
As willing hostages for a week.
Okay. So I will... My intent here is to perform the verbal component of the spell, and the verbal and somatic. I'll try and whisper, but and be subtle if I can. But if I'm able to, I'm gonna take a second to wait and try and send it mentally, because nothing about the spell requires me to say it out loud. So I will try to cast sending.
I've always had
Quietly,
that
if
question,
possible.
and I'm somewhat sure we've tried to...
I don't even know if I have tried to do it. I know there's a verbal component. I don't know that the verbal component is the message.
I think it would specify if it was, to be honest. Like, suggestion says it is.
It says you send a message, they hear it.
I
in
think
their
I
head.
agree. I think I agree. So it is a matter of trying to hushedly utter the incantation.
Knowing that
That's just the
he
secret
is...
part.
Knowing that I've asked him to do this, I'm gonna... Sorry, Jerry. Pretend to drop Jerry and, like, yell. And say, oh, God, oh my God, sorry, Jerry. And try to, like, create a little distraction.
Okay.
Like I stumbled on a rock. And almost dropped.
Telperion, make a deception check.
All right, my specialty. I rolled a natural 1. -1 on that.
He really drops Jerry.
No, I'm too strong for that.
Telperion, as you cause a bit of commotion behind, intending to distract, the Reaver turns around in time to witness Toby Rama's muttering of the incantation. Hey! No magic, stick 'em! And the Iron Guardian will make one poke at you, Toby Rama.
I'll take it, and I'll give myself time, because I haven't started sending a message yet, so I'm just... Oh.
Swap.
Swap.
Holy Christ.
That's
I'll use
nat
my reaction to
20.
negate the nat.
Yeah, does that require any sort of resources or magic?
I mean, it requires me to use one of my... I can do it 5 times a day.
But it just says you can
you
cancel
turn
it,
a
right?
hit into a normal hit. That's just what it says.
Okay, so your connection with a deity of the death domain just innately, when you will it, can protect you a bit.
I'll use a side eye to shield him too. Just to like lessen the impact.
Okay.
Because that fire is scary too.
6, 7, 8, 9 is prevented.
Okay, so 14 force and 8 fire damage, reduced to just 13.
13.
Okay.
as Toby Rama, you get a jab in the gut as, like you've seen from Alfie before, a small little segmented iron instead of bronze needle-like appendage just juts out from in between where two metal plates connect and just jabs you in the rib, and you can just feel not only the force damage of it, but this flame that just hurts and almost immediately cauterizes the wound as it injures you.
I suffer all of that and keep my connection to the spell, let it pass, and then mentally I will begin the message. Four winds, willing hostages for 1 week in Lux Monastery, outside Ostennis. King Zavar, mortal weakness when something is removed from his body.
Something.
And who was this going to?
Minerva, as directed
Minerva.
by Topirian.
Oh, gods. Play things carefully. Use the opportunity to learn, but roll with the punches. Survive at all costs.
I will send that towards Topirian and add on, send that to everyone else to know to not be rash.
Yeah, I do that.
This could be a huge opportunity if we make it out of this alive.
I'd like to do a history check, and I want to think about my mom and Minerva, because really specifically, I want to think about when I've watched them be negotiators or like dealing, especially with the bird folk or Mordecai recently, what would their top MO be if they had an opportunity to talk to Zavar? Because I'm trying to figure out, like, am I using this to extract a piece of information, to tell him something misleading? And I'm thinking about, like, when they tried to teach me, like, these kinds of things. And, like, I did a little bit of politicking, but that's what I want to be thinking on.
Okay. I'll say go ahead and make a history check. Yeah.
I rolled a 2, though. 9.
Okay. You start going through strategies that might have applied in certain conversations in the past, but right now you're not coming up with anything concrete. Right now it's a sort of vague, amorphous task of gather what you can and hope it's enough. Roulette, a voice will enter your mind, and you recognize it immediately as Minerva's. She says, Roulette, I trust your studious mind, more so than perhaps most. Study the Talon's gear. What does he wear? What empowers him?
Did she say Talon?
I'm sorry, the Kings. I meant to say Kings.
Okay.
Apologies there.
She says that in the message.
Rome, what are you currently doing? You have seemingly successfully hidden from the Reaver and the Iron Guardians marching your allies down the corridor. Are you following them in that direction?
No. I really want to explore this whole area. Or actually, I guess I can always come back. So yeah, maybe I do. Yeah, I will follow them, but maybe as I'm skittering about along the wall, can I kind of like peer in to see if there's anybody else in any of these cells as I'm following them?
So you knew that the one cell that was Moira's lab is further down the hall that way. This cell had been used for Telperion, this one for yourself, this one for Roulette, and then Jiri, and this one for Toby Rama. as you and your spider form pass all of those, you get the sense that there are not many cells at all down in this portion of the cellar. And in fact, they probably weren't, if this building structure matches your understanding of its construction, it doesn't look like this was intended for use as a prison. So there's not many cells. They're more like small rooms that may have been afforded to travelers or hermits or just wanderers that may have strayed to a monastery for various reasons. There are certainly probably more rooms throughout this structure like that, but very little down here so far. And as you all continue to follow the Reaver out, I think I need to go to this. The Reaver will reach into his pocket and seemingly grasp something and knock on the door, and then the door slides and shifts over into its little slit crevice in the wall
as I
construction.
am first in line, I'd like to be spending as much focus as possible. Like, that was a movement, that was a deliberate movement. Can I see what he held? Like, and just as that's on my mind as we just keep proceeding through wherever we're being taken, as I'm really on eagle eye mode.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
No sentinel shield for advantage.
Holy shit. You did alright.
Let's see here. It's not proficient in sleight of hand. You detect as he's putting it, it catches your notice when he reached in there, but then as he puts it back in his pocket after the door shifted away, it seemed to be a small topaz stone that matches the coloration of the runic sigils you have seen throughout this space. And you are all led.
I'll
further ahead.
relay that to Telperion to relay that to Roulette as well.
And I see it. What pocket did it go into?
It went into his left pocket and seemed to be a small yellow topaz stone.
Boy, tell it.
I just like seeing the horizontal roam on top of the Reaver's token.
He's carrying a Christmas tree.
One
as
last
you get-
question.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We are looking at this roam. I don't think you need to tell us what our deductions are, but like, do we think this? Are we fooled by this? Do we think this actually looks like Rome, or do we know Rome well enough to be like, oh, that's not her? Or like, we've never seen her do anything like this.
I would say that's true. You have not seen her do anything like this, and for the sake of its convincing nature, I actually want to have Rome make a wisdom check. As it's for your spellcasting modifier being wisdom, just roll a d20 and add your wisdom modifier.
Full winds are not in a good state.
Above 20, you've never seen Rome do anything like this. And you know she has various magical capabilities, so you doubt she would simply shrivel up and die overnight like this. But it's pretty convincingly her.
Like, that's true. I guess, like, I could have died in that cell. Like, would everybody think I'm dead? That's actually-
I think Toby's...
We've been slowly tackling this roughly minute-long journey down the corridor, so it's still only been a minute of time or so to process this. So they might be thinking those thoughts right now.
From general adventuring, you with us, you would know that you could send a telepathic message to Telperion just by looking at him. He might not be able to see you because you're stealth really well and as a spider, but you could always send a message to him.
And you know, you're the only time you can talk in wild shape is when you think to me.
There. Okay, I will let Telperion know that, like, I'm here. You just can't see me.
And I won't think back to her because I don't know where she is. But I'll tell the
you hear
others.
Rome's voice and you're not sure if it came from the dried up husk in front of you that the Reaver's carrying or somewhere else, but quickly you probably dart your eyes around. You don't see Rome.
But do rest assured, we might have an advantage.
I think again to tell Perion that I want to take this opportunity to like stealth find get some information.
Here does a little thumbs up and head nod, like thumbs up to his side.
Okay. I'm gonna go back up the hallway. I don't think there's much that I can do down here. I want to explore her like quarters.
Okay, that's a very worthwhile ambition. You will know that her door is sealed shut just as all the others are. So you might have to get real creative on means of entering that space.
Okay, I'm gonna think about it and then I will let you know what I want to do.
Okay. For now, are you doubling back or are you continuing forward at this moment?
I mean, I want to go towards that door. I'm gonna figure out how to get through.
Okay. You start to double back. The rest of you will be led through this very small, let's call it a common room, as the Iron Guardians and the Reaver continue to march you all through this area.
I'm gonna do just still like entering a new room, entrances, doors. What sort of people? Does it look like more Reavers, just plain soldiers?
Yeah, you see a couple soldiers sort of playing the knife game where one of them's holding his hand against the table and the other one's got his knife and he's trying to get faster at it, and then you hear but then the knight at the table, clearly their superior, just puts his head in his hands and sees you all enter at the Reaver's behest and gives him a nod, just entertaining themselves. There's a very small stove that would clearly, or not stove, small fireplace that would clearly have some exhaust port that leads further into the building. There's a couple desks with some loose journals or papers strewn about, and 2 doors that lead to other rooms potentially.
As we walk, where are we leaning to towards?
Well,
This
you're
way.
leaving toward this way, and I'll also say that as the door closes behind you from where you just came from, the glyph reanimates and becomes visible again, locking that door.
I don't really expect. Never mind.
Okay. Well, in a few moments' time, you're all Telperion still needing to carry Jiri should Jiri be able to move at all. You are all led out through these doors, which then do not actually have any sort of glyph seal protecting their entry and exit. And you are led through and upstairs, and you notice that 2 of the Iron Guardians actually station themselves here in sentry mode. The other 2 will follow you guys out. And you head upstairs.
We go upstairs.
This entrance to this cellar, the stairs turn in an L shape, and then there's a hatch up at the top. The Reaver unlatches it and throws it open, and you immediately feel a gust of cold air hit your lungs and your skin, and you immediately recognize that the simple rags you guys are wearing are far from ideal for the landscape environment you're about to walk into. But I'll position you guys here. Apologies if it takes a second to load. Mine did. But you emerge from the cellar trapdoor Come on. And the Reaver encourages you walk this way at his command.
Wow, this is awesome.
Walks under this little gazebo awning roof and continues with the Iron Guardians constantly following behind you.
What time of day is it?
Morning.
It is early in the morning. Dawn has already passed, but you can tell with how close to the horizon it is that it is early morning. And as you are all led here, you can see 2 squadrons of Durastian infantry posted up on either side of Moira, standing here at seemingly one of the entrances or exits to this monastery that many of you have been to before. All with Iron Guardians following behind. You also see, just surveilling the surroundings briefly, all the snow-covered rooftops. Various wyverns are perched on some of the corners, surveilling the landscape. You do see one high in the sky taking its its turn, its patrol, surveilling the skies for a better view. And Moira greets you all as you arrive. Good morning, lovelies. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you're still all here at all. I honestly thought you might try and make a break for it while I was away overnight. Clutch those rags close, dears. We'll only be out here in the cold for a little while. He'll be arriving shortly. And what have you done, Reaver? Did the spirit resist while you collected them? I don't know, my lady. It was just a dry carcass of shrubbery when I activated the doors. Maybe it died if it couldn't, root? I don't know. Perhaps. I admit I have little knowledge of the Vase Bearer's magical capabilities, but I am skeptical to believe such a spirit would wither overnight. Leave this husk here with us and go surveil the cellars again to see if this is some kind of trick. Search her cell. And with a grunt, the Reaver will leave Rome's carcass husk here and will exit the scene, heading back downstairs. Well, for the rest of you, His Majesty will be here shortly. I'm sure he'll be interested to meet you all. I've told him what I can. Any questions before he arrives?
You weren't sure he was going to want to meet with us at all, so why the rush?
Well, I made him aware of a finding I made last night when I separated. Oh, I see you're feeling a bit under the weather. I am sorry, child, looking at Jiri. I will have to see to your health. I don't want this harm of separation to befall you too terribly. It will pass, I'm sure. Your nature is rather adaptable. I'm sure you'll be fine in time, darling. Anyway, do you hear him? Here he comes now. And as I change the music for a new arriving NPC, before I do that, I'll go back to Rome.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make my way towards the door. I want to investigate the door.
Okay. So I'm going to move everyone here to the GM layer who's not here right now.
Can't see shit.
But soon, a Reaver is making his way back downstairs. Rome, you're making your way toward the door, skittering amongst the ceiling or walls or floor, and you get to a stone door where you don't see many apparent gaps in the way it slides into and out of its little crevasse in the wall that it can slide into. what do you want to learn about the door? How might you want to interact with it or engage it in some way?
Well, I mean, is there any like evidence of a lock?
There does not seem to be any evidence of a keyhole, but you can see a glowing glyph on the floor that is identical to the ones in front of all the cellar doors that seems to indicate some sort of locking mechanism.
Can I read the glyph?
Go ahead and make an Arcana check. With a 10, you can tell there's script and arcane equations written into the nature of this glyph, but you're not familiar with such arcane magic, being a being of such primordial and primal natural power. So it doesn't mean much to you, but you are able enough to intuit that it is some means of locking that door. Is there anything you want to try and do to it?
There's no like space underneath the door either.
No, it does not seem to have any nooks, crannies, burrow holes for the time being. You'll have to find some other means of getting your way through, whether by force or other creative solutions.
All right. Well, I guess the first thing I'll try is cast Dispel Magic on the door.
Okay, on the door itself?
Well, maybe it can't just get the whole area, like the glyph and the door.
You'll have to select a specific target to target your spell.
I'm gonna target the glyph.
Okay. You probably need to come out of your wild shape form. Yes, you won't be able to cast a spell from the spider's form. Is that something you've identified? This might be something you want to try. Is it worth coming out of wild shape for?
You raise a really good point.
You've got more.
What was that?
You've got more.
That is true. All right.
One more.
Yeah, I got one more. Can I cast invisibility on myself and do the Dispel Magic? Yeah, I can. Okay. So I'm gonna get out of wild shape. Cast sorry, not levitate. Invisibility on myself.
You should do it the other way around.
Oh, what do you mean? Cast invisibility and then come out of my wild shape?
No, invisibility will go away when you cast a spell. So on wild shape, Dispel Magic, invisibility.
Thank you. Okay, I do that in that order.
Also, I didn't really necessarily realize that by putting you on GM Lair, all of you, that you don't get to see some of this, which is maybe fun for people.
I'm in the hallway.
Yeah, I saw you able to move your character, but I'm going to go ahead and throw the other characters. You guys now can go in the hallway and see Rome interact with the world. Okay, you come out of wild shape. Your spider form transforms back into your true self. You target the glyph on the ground with Dispel Magic. You reach out with your weaving of the weave, and you see the glyph deactivate. What do you do?
I try and move the door with my hand.
You're able to slide the door open with your hand. What do you do?
Excellent. I go into the room. I go in the room.
The moment you step through, you hear the glyph reactivate. Your Dispel Magic only very briefly and temporarily suppressing its magic, and the stone door rapidly slides shut behind you. You have successfully entered the room, but the door is arcanely sealed behind you, and now you cannot see the glyph to target. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
But as of right now, you are inside the room. Do you want to cast invisibility, or what do you want to do in this space right now?
Well, so I'm still invisible at this moment in time, correct?
Well, we had just handled the Dispel Magic. You were going to invisible after that.
Oh,
so this
yes.
This
yes,
is moments after dispelling the magic. So you're casting invisibility?
Yes.
Okay. as you enter the room and cast invisibility, I'll say you become invisible pretty quickly. But the noise and commotion of that, as soon as the door slams shut behind you, you hear the chattering screeches of about 7 or 8 imps locked in a cage, and they're all clamoring at the metal, and they're going like a bunch of demonic birds just shouting at the door. But they don't seem to see you.
Okay, and then what do I know what this thing is?
Someone
think it was
either I just told you guys or someone deduced what the creature was.
And I asked Moira about it when we were all in the room together, I think. And I asked if that thing could ever be restored, and she said it was the previous leader of this place.
Yes, it was the monk known as Delta, who previously led this monastery of acolytes. So you're not necessarily sure what kind of creature this is, but it has been transformed from its previous humanoid self into something foul and disgusting.
Interesting. Okay, I do want to try and talk to this guy, but we're gonna save that for. I want to investigate all of this stuff, like everything that's in here. I want my eyes on.
Get your little grubbies on.
I also want to find my stuff. Like, if I can find my stuff, that would also be great.
So I will give you a general wisdom or general perception check to start off here.
Excellent.
With a 21, you're able to quickly determine and remember that when you all were forced to give up your belongings, at a glyph that appeared around, a sort of aura that appeared around Moira, as she accepted your things, they were shunted away to a different area, and a glyph on the wall appeared. You're able to see those glyphs on the wall over here. You're not necessarily sure whose glyph means whose stuff, but potentially you guys' stuff is stored arcanely in some sort of extraplanar or pocket dimension space, facilitated by that glyph work. So your stuff might be there. How to access it, you're not necessarily sure.
Okay.
I will say that I'm gonna label these, not the glyphs, but we'll say, oh, that's very thin. I want regular. In terms of your investigation efforts here, at least for her chemical, arcane, exotic components strewn about the various table space, surface tops, and drawers within, there are those 5 areas you're able to investigate and interact with. Which one do you want to do first? And then we'll move over to the rest of the party for a bit.
Okay, I'll start with the table 4.
Table 4. Table 4, perhaps unsurprisingly, your eyes led you there first, as contained within an arcane crystal top case, you see a Vantablack liquid amorphous sludge moving around. It looks very similar to the sort of veins you've seen beneath Jiri's skin in the past, and you're able to quickly identify that that substance is the entity that was taken from Jiri. It seems to be sealed in some sort of arcane glass, and you definitely notice that whatever's moving within is extremely violent right now. It's very aggressively and erratically little pseudopods of this amorphous viscous muck just like lash out and attach to different parts of the beaker, and it swells against one side, and you can tell it's trying to press, and then it'll swell to the other side, and then it'll split and try and surround the glass and recoil. Whatever's in there does not want to be in there.
Interesting.
I'll make you aware of that finding real quick by just saying, Hyperivel is at that table.
Love a seating chart.
All right. You have found Jiri's stolen patron. The rest of your investigation we will handle in a moment. But for now, we'll go back to the rest of the party. Do you hear him? Among the winds. And arriving from the sky, like some sort of giant hellish bat, you see the beating red wings of a great and powerful wyvern. Or at least it resembles a wyvern. Its general physiology at least matches up. And it even has its full tail stinger on display, not clipped like the rest of the Wraithwatch's knights trained wyverns. But it's distinctly larger than the Wraithwatch's. And it displays a brighter coloration of garnet red scales and more brutish spines and horns than most wyverns, almost reminiscent of stories that have been told or that you have heard of red dragons that once threatened the citizens of ancient times. And as the beast touches down atop the roof before you, you also see its rider.
Together now.
Whoa.
Eee.
Clad almost entirely in black and gold, his mantle formed by two connected Vantablack pauldrons that adorn his upper body with a sort of spined draconic appearance that enhances his already domineering position above you, and gripped in his right arm, as his left is steadying his mount, shines a brilliantly gleaming bident spear that displays a platinum crossguard that wraps around the weapon like a small coiled dragon.
Well met, Moira. And I see your new pets have come to welcome me as well. So these are the louts that have slain Kota, slipped out from underneath Vitria and the Arc Knight, and even earned your interest. They don't seem like much.
Just now that a bunch of people are in a range where this is worthwhile, I'm just gonna close my eyes, reopen them, and just for the sake of doing it, because why not, I will use Eyes of the Grave and try and detect any undead within 60 feet of us.
Okay. Very cool. You open your senses to the foul touch of necromantic perversion that just reeks of undeath, but you don't find any here. Very quickly you determine that there is no touch of undeath on this king or his mount.
No
And
Moira
as-
or soldiers or nothing.
Nor on Moira or soldiers nearby.
Good to know.
And as the king dismounts, he steps off his mount some 25 to 30 feet in the air on top of the roof, and it allows himself to fall. But he descends slowly for some reason. His fall magically impeded as he gracefully descends slowly, with his bident outstretched to his side and his furred robe drifting gently in the winter breeze. And he touches down directly in front of Moira. I'll just throw him up on the screen again because I like it.
Dang, look at that spear.
Oh, he's got a dragon on the spear.
Yeah, man.
Let's get a closer look at all ya.
Walks up to first. He'll go to roulette first.
A human. Marching at the sides of elves and beasts. You sure you don't want to come to our humble northwestern wilderness? We're priming to make a better life for our kind. level the playing field a bit. So those born with innate magic in their bloodlines don't get to press the boots on our throats any longer. No?
Roulette just stares back at him, doesn't say anything.
Chosen to die in the New World Order, have you? So be it.
How tall is he?
He's about roughly the size, probably the height of Telperion, including Telperion's horns. You think Jiri's hair might out height Zavar, but he is a fairly tall and imposing gentleman. Very wide shoulders, a little yellowish tint, maybe olive coloration on the skin, and you do see some cracks of age, especially around the eyes. You also notice his nose is uniquely non-protrusive, sort of sits a little further back on his face. But otherwise, just looks like a very severe, probably has had to endure harshness in his life, human man.
Do I see any other obvious weapons or accoutrements to his garb? I see the double pauldrons and I see everything else. Any other notable things on him?
Go ahead and make a. I'm gonna have this be a.
I'd love to get
I don't
some
think
of this
it's
action before you announce what check it is.
okay. Well, before I announce what check it is, did you want to have something?
No, I just also am intently focused
Okay.
on him and what he's equipped with.
Yeah, if you both are specifically eyeing his gear, go ahead and both make an intelligence check. I don't want to have it be investigation because you're not sort of intimately like searching and patting him down, but it's a little bit more intense than like a perception check.
Twins.
Wow, 19 for
No.
both of you.
I will add 4 to that. I will get an extra jolt of brain power, remembering that Minerva says I should be checking out their gear.
Okay. Toby Rama, you can see his very thickly lined fur black coat that has been purposefully modified to be fit with these Vanta Black and very clearly dread iron pauldrons that form a sort of dread iron mantle, a tier above the pauldrons the rest of the Talons adorn themselves with. You obviously see the spear and the platinum metal that caresses the shaft of the spear and forms a crossguard. In Roulette, you will see all of that too, but you catch some more in
Switch.
Let's hop zooms.
Oh.
Oh.
What do my human eyes see?
Yes, Roulette, with your astute human eyes. You also get 2 other bits of information. Number 1, you see as he's clutching his spear in his right hand, his left hand is sort of grasping the interior of his coat, just continuing to sort of present his left arm within the embrace of that coat very regally. However, peeking through it, you do see his knuckles extend past the edge of part of the coat lining, and you see a brass 2-fingered ring that curls around one finger over 2 fingers and curls around the second. And you very quickly remember that you saw that ring in Ensorcelment. That is an item that belonged to Jean Laval. It is a spell storing ring that they have clearly relieved creation allies of.
Gross.
Additionally, the final bit of information you get are that he seems to be wearing a reinforced breastplate, not half plate or full plate armor. And at first you might be surprised by that just because of the bearing of this individual looks like someone strong who would benefit from fully plated armor, but that gives you two suspicions. One, it gives him the mobility for someone that is quick on their feet in addition to his strength, but also something about the center of the breastplate seems to your smith eyes like something that has been worked over and over and over to be reinforced physically and magically so.
Cute.
He's got something on that chest.
Standing at the side of an elven prince, here before me, should I be so honored?
Telpyrian, he spits in your face.
Wow.
Never again will I feign respect to an elf. I will extend you an apology, though. Before your efforts, Moon Ears, we probably would have let your people stay hidden in the woods, hidden from our new world. But now you stand in arms with the beasts of the south and are very much in our way. No matter, though, Belladonia will rally to our side in no time. It seems a treaty has been finalized this very week to unite the northern nations against the rebellion of the south. Another human. Behind you. Past this shriveled thing. Moira, what is this? Your Majesty, it seems the spirit of elemental earth has seemingly shriveled overnight. I've had one of our reavers go and check her cell to make sure there's no funny business. I am not fully familiar with her capabilities, and it is, I suppose, possible for her form to have shed its vitality. I will keep a keen eye on it. He steps over it, crunching the twigs, the dried twigs beneath his feet. Tobirama, go ahead and make an insight check as he looks at you.
I will happily do that. I also am just very much on Toby's mind is... Oh, I literally have it here. Is Gallus's words on Zavar. And trying to see if Gallus was being fair in his assessment of him. Seen King Zavar in action. Can't be allowed to stand. Motivations beyond acquiring more land. Like, I'm weighing that as I'm seeing this man in front of me.
As Zavar leans into closer to your face, you very quickly deduce that he's regarding you differently than the others so far. And he seems to be studying your face for something. He's very intensely looking your facial features over.
I'll say, do you recognize me as Durastian?
He pulls back and says, "Should I?"
Born and raised Cliffshade proper.
Go ahead and make one more insight check as you say that. What barely escaped you before, you catch a glimpse of the smallest little subtle hint of realization and confusion at what you just said.
Well, you've forsaken your home, and it has forsaken you.
He steps back away from you. And he sort of pushes his way between Roulette and Telpyrian to the person Telpyrian's helping stand.
And this This whimpering and useless whelp? Is this really your lost prize, Moira? The changeling? Indeed, Your Majesty. I confirmed as much through my own due diligence last night with a sample of his blood. I believe it will be helpful in enhancing the effectiveness of my research, and pouring through my notes of the Guardian Project last night and its subjects, I am sure it will be used in our favor. Very well. I am pleased. I'll approve the funding for your further research. Just do not let it interfere with our priority. Yes? Looks back at Moira. Which brings us to the reason for this meeting in the first place. You say you were able to reacquire it. The dread iron substance that binds inside it the essence of the Deva Hyperivel. Yes, Your Majesty. It would appear that my prized changeling, in his escape from Talonreach last year, somehow bonded with the dread iron substance, and certainly was imbued with at least portions of Hyperivel's power. However, I believe that the Deva's fractured mind permanently shattered the mind of its new host. The changeling now believes himself to be an individual named Jiri, which is known to the public as some sort of fictional hero of a witless storybook. But just last night, I was able to unbind the two entities. It is clearly having some adverse health effects on him, but he will survive. His blood is adaptable, far more than any other known living substance. But I will tend to his health and ensure our supply of his blood stays intact. Ha ha ha! Fantastic! Then it almost works. The process merely needs refinement. Zavar looks at all of you. Soon, we will wield the power of the gods. Their weapons, their armor, and even their essences used as batteries. Moira, learn what you can from this substance, but it is clear that this Deva's broken mind makes him a lost cause in this case. We'll need a better candidate for the next trial. Other than that, prioritize all your efforts on prepping your experiments for when we acquire the fallen body of the Dark God. It will be the final key to the gate of godhood for us mere mortals. And for these sad... Yes.
As he pushes past me and Topirian, can I use my smithy eyes and my smithy hands to see if I can get a honed-in understanding of what metal is that strange breastplate is made of?
Sure. Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Did it go? Oh, there we go. 27.
Wow, that's a really good roll.
Hey, 31.
It's the sheen of the black looks different from Vanta Black, so you know it's not Dread Iron. The jarring juxtaposition next to a Celestial Bident tells you it's very clearly not that. It does seem to be a rare metal, but it also seems sort of dull. Not Divinor, but like another black metal you have all seen a long time ago, deep beneath the Underdark River, when you were all sheltering in place with Gallus in your fleeing escape from Ostennis. It looks a lot like that sort of jagged black sword that Telperion, I think, recovered from a body. It seemed there were some wights and some undead entities down in that area, and they had a sword that looked like this. Up close, you can see that this metal has been handled crudely, perhaps with hands that have not had experience working this metal before. Seems rare.
Thank you.
But not inherently magical.
Got it.
And as for you sad and sorry prisoners, I think I wish to test your resolve and amuse myself in a bit of sport. I would like to fight you all to the death. Whoever survives the longest wins their freedom. No strings attached. Pardon, Your Majesty, but in order to gain their willingness to abandon their troops at Athros, I struck a deal with them. I am bound by its script to do what I can to mitigate harm done to them. Might I offer an alternative? I could conjure a beast, befitting the sport you seek for them to fight. Surely it would be a fairer fight than wielding your divine strength against them, as she nods to his celestial bident. This would surely entertain you and allow me to keep the word of my pact. I would be mitigating the harm done. Ah! I never get to have any fun. Part of me wants to cause your pact to break right now so I can better enjoy myself. But I don't need you getting whisked away yet. You've ensured your position is indispensable. And we have lots to do. Very well. They can fight for their survival against one of your pets. And I'd like to pause this conversation here and jump back to Rome for a moment. Rome, sitting before you on this table of various arcane implements and paraphernalia, you see Hyperivel, the sludge-like Vantablack dread iron goo that you know was once bound to your friend Jiri. It seems pretty fixed in its place, bound and sealed within this arcane glass crystal case. It's about a foot tall, maybe 6 inches in diameter, almost like a trophy case that would be placed on something, but you can tell that the magic radiating from the arcane crystal is meeting with the wooden base in a way that is magically sealing it in place. Do you wish to interact with that in any way, or are you interested in surveilling the rest of this lab for now?
Ooh, yeah, I'd love to interact with it. Can I try and speak with the entity?
You're welcome to try. What do you say to it? You are invisible.
I get up real close to it and I whisper to it, like, great being, I too am very powerful. I wasn't expecting to interact with this thing. Maybe perhaps you can help us from within. Jiri has been taken. He's been harmed by your removal from him.
You hear the chattering screeches of the imps behind you start as they react to, even if your hushed whisper is low, they still react to it. They can still hear it in this space. And you do not hear any language come from the goo in front of you. It simply reacts quickly to the sound of your voice and presses itself up against the side of the glass closest to you.
Okay. You keep your secrets. That's all right. I'm gonna move on to a different table. I'm gonna kind of like table that for a moment. I have an idea, but I need to think about whether or not it's a good idea.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at table 5.
Table 5. Okay. Go ahead. You see, again, a wide variety of various bound tomes, journals, spell books, arcane crystals and odds and ends that could definitely be used as components for spell casting. You see tongs and metal gears and levers. Go ahead and make a general investigation check to suss out what might be of value there. Also, out of curiosity, oh, that's a really good roll. Out of curiosity, Toby Rama, I don't see your token on this screen. Are you
I'm
here? Are you
on
able
the
to see
forward
stuff?
Table.
He is there.
Oh, that's
Real
funny. You
sneaky.
must be sent to back or something. That's funny. Because I
Like
can't
blended
see
in.
you. Oh, there you are. That's really funny. Yeah, you are really hidden from me. Gotcha. Rome, with a 19, you see a beautiful crystal lens that looks, with a roll like that, I would say it looks like it has, I would say, potent arcane component viability. You see a small drawer that seems hidden above the main drawer. It's very thin and hidden under the lip of the shelf. You pull that out and you see a row of hourglass-shaped glass vials of various colorations. And at the back of that drawer, you see a very thin and more well-preserved notebook than the one strewn across the surface of this table.
Diary.
Ooh, I want to read it.
Okay.
Oops, Moira had a crush.
The imps near you are starting to sort of freak out. You're not sure if this room is soundproof or not, but they're making quite a ruckus as they hear the grinding of wood drawers being opened and various bits and bobs being sort of rifled through. But you pull out this journal and you are able to take a look, and it is written as if it's some sort of scientific method-based methodology of experimentation, but it looks it's written in common, and it looks very clearly different than some of the infernal script that Moira has strewn about this environment. The title of the first page, and it's only about 15 pages or so thick. It's a very thin journal. It seems to be detailing some historical experimentation done in the past by Belladonia in an effort known as the Guardian Project. You also see a figure being referred to many times as the Architect, with no nomenclature assigned to that sort of pseudonym. And Moira has very clearly in Infernal written things into the margins of these pages near a couple areas of this journal. Like she's taking notes on a journal that did not originally belong to her.
And what do those notes say?
Do you read Infernal?
No, never mind. Not. If I continue to read further, do I detect like what this architect is trying to design?
Most of the journal, I would say, I don't think I'm going too far as to say, because you're not a sort of studious and intelligent based character, I think some of the very the methodology of these humanoids taking notes and going over allowances and tolerances and different mixtures, you can tell it's sort of an effort of chemistry to some degree. There are mentions of different biological elements in there, chemical elements, but you're not sure necessarily what the goal of that is.
Okay. Do I know what is in these vials, these hourglass-shaped vials?
You have seen these once or twice. Some of the other party have seen them a couple more times, but you saw when you were all beneath the Moonset Grove, defending it from the infiltration of Durast, when Ezrin, one of the Moon Elves, was letting in Durastian individuals, the Battle Reeve that led that charge had broken one of these hourglass vials, inhaled the vaporous contents, and was given functionally the rage feature of a barbarian. It enhanced his physiology in a way that was not natural to him. The other party members have seen this happen in various ways, and upon your arrival in this lab just yesterday, when Roulette, I don't honestly in this moment remember what Roulette did that was sort of Roulette tried to cast a spell at Moira as you guys teleported, and upon your arrival, Moira reached into her vestments and cracked one of these vials and forcibly, through magical means via her staff, pushed the contents around Roulette's face and forced the vapor to enter its way into her bloodstream. It had an effect, but Roulette was mostly able to push past it. So, based on the sort of carefully preserved shelf at the journal, you assume that these vials are very connected to the subject matter of this chemical effort that is in this Guardian Project journal.
Okay. All right, I'm going to proceed to move towards table 3.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put that on the map layer. Table 3. Okay, you see this table looks a little less arcane and a little more machinist based. There are some schematics and install drawings for how to assemble. It's like an install manual for what looks like a little Alfie, a spherical form with a couple legs out of it, and it is a bunch of notes and diagrams and blueprints for what seem to be those Iron Guardians that are marching around in what resemble Roulette's old steel defender known as Alfie. I'll have you go ahead and make an investigation check here too. This is a little bit lower of a DC. Is that new 19? Is that new?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice. You're rolling very well, especially for a modifier of 0.
That's 2 nights in a row.
You also find tucked behind one of the diagrams a small letter of correspondence from an individual known as the Maker, who seems to be leading the effort of mass production of these Iron Guardians from the previously occupied Glassguard Barracks in Ostenis, the capital of Creatia.
Interesting.
With that roll, I'll also just clarify a little bit of gap that this Maker seems to be leading the charge on producing these Iron Guardians and has been availing Moira of his work. Sort of letters of sort of awareness. This is what I'm currently working on. This is the successes we found. Seems to be reporting to her.
Interesting. All right. Moving on to table 2.
Table 2, go ahead and make an investigation check. Actually, I'm going to have you make a... This won't be investigation. This will be... I think this is Arcana. Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Yes.
There is a sort of oddly textured parchment that has been cut into a pentagram on this table and has bits of blood smeared into infernal symbols. You're not sure what that is used for. But there are various other arcane components and accoutrements strewn across this table.
Okay. I'm gonna investigate table 1.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check. This one is fairly low. Let me see.
All those 19s.
Ah, I think you got it.
This table seems to be a little bit more mundane. There are like simple tools, basic notebooks that may contain some of Moira's thoughts, but most of them are infernal. None of them seem to be of sort of identifiable value to you right now.
Okay. Has this thing been making any noise?
As you are searching over in that side of the room, it has just moved its arm sort of through the bars across, reaching toward you. As it like moves into one bar, its form just sort of like sloughs and mutates and just sort of gunks around the form of the metal rod, as it just like is able to sort of squeeze and move through solid objects to some degree, and it just seems to be desperately sad in reaching out toward you.
I go to it.
It just makes some disgusting noises your way.
All right, so you're like essentially alluding to the fact that it does not speak common.
That is definitely correct, you imagine.
Okay. Let me think for a second.
As it tries to open its mouth and speak, you see a gap form where its mouth should be, but the teeth in the form just sort of like slide down its form, and then it just tries to like move its mouth around to get its teeth back into the shape. You're not sure this thing even can physically speak.
Whom was once the leader of this place. I will help you. I feel like I get the sense that this is like a sad creature that like just wants to get out, right? Like wants to be saved, maybe wants to retake his post.
I would say it's not too far to assume it is a victimized being.
Okay, I want to try and create like an exoskeleton out of branches for this thing, because like he's just like drooping and he needs like, you know, like a structure around himself. He's falling apart.
How would you
Can I
go
use
about...
plant growth?
So plant growth to make your husk, I think, took a while. I don't think in the time of a couple minutes you're gonna have very much success with that.
It also breaks your visibility to cast another spell.
It would also break your invisibility. Do you want to try and find a way to do that? Do you have any methods or means of magically doing something like that other than plant growth, or are you interested in a long-term plant growth effort?
I feel like I just need time to think about what. I feel like I have so many things that I can do. I just don't know like what to do. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like
yeah,
I want to go up, like I want to manage my time too, because I also like want to attempt going through into this like pocket dimension space. I mean, I don't sense that anybody else is here, right?
You don't, other than the imps and the lemure near you, you don't sense that anyone is here until you can hear the sound down the hallway of the grinding of stone. And as soon as you start hearing that noise, the imps start screeching and chattering more.
And is it that they're
over the course of over the course of 12 seconds or so, you can hear-ish or imagine that the individual responsible for the noise at the end of the hallway is approaching, because the door to the lab grinds open and you see a Reaver standing there. And as the door opens, the imps start shrieking and howling and chattering, and the Reaver starts to look from side to side in the room. And I think actually that's a good spot to take a bio break, and then we can come back to that
Yeah.
and other king interactions.
Jeez Louise.
Yo. All right. See you in a bit.
See you guys in a bit.
I texted Steve this, but I wonder if Veladonians, or whatever faction that was created the branding, you know, trying to suffuse Udinil with Villian blood or power or whatever. I wonder if that inspired, you know, what Zavar and Moira and Durast are doing. Like, they probably knew that Ilmir, wielded by the Arknight, had the power of a god in it, or like an angel or a deva or something in it, but never really put much thought to it. And then they see what Veladonia was trying, and they're like, oh, suffusing a person with power. What about suffusing weapons, armor, maybe even also people with power? I mean, that's what happened with Hyperivel, to some extent. Very fascinating. such a wow. Brother, this guy stinks.
Yo, yo, yo.
Dude, Jiri was the first, like, successful test at fusing a creature of divinity to a person. That's pretty sick.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
With
Or I
no
guess I'm
negative
not
side
successful.
effects.
No
Yeah,
side
nothing,
effects.
nothing went wrong. Trial successful.
What trial is this?
Oh, fusing divine beings to mere
Oh.
mortals.
Went
Light
so
work.
well for our friend in blue.
What can go wrong?
Our friend Blue.
If we make it to the end of this day, I've got some serious praying to do.
Don't we all?
That's Toby's response to everything. I've got to pray on this.
I love that. And hit me up if you want us to work through sort of, hey, can this mechanically mean something? Can there be some version of
I'll
a mini
keep
game?
that
Can
in
there
mind.
be some? Because I love it for RP.
Yeah.
I don't have right now a very definitive way of like, hey, you prayed 4 days in a row. Like, there's no,
Sure.
you know, right now it is RP. But if you want us to work through something that would be meaningful for your play
I'll keep
experience,
that in mind,
in that
but
way,
it is just unique that potentially 2 nights in a row, I have 2 very different things that I'm going to be very intently and methodically praying about. Like, this dude just admitted to blasphemy. Like, he intends to wield the power of the gods. Like, I gotta tell Kellenvor what's up.
Tell Kellenvor.
Not that he's not. I mean, they're not omnipotent, but they got feelers in the world. I guess maybe I'm his feeler in the world or something. But
Reporting in can't hurt. Hey God, it's me, Toby.
I am eager. So, like, I've had the Dave interacting with me this whole time. I am interested in what, because Chris is piloting that sort of interaction. I don't think that I see Toby being buddy with Kellenvor. I don't think that's the point of his devotion. I have been thinking about some of that stuff more.
Part of me feels like I shouldn't give any sort of structure to your understanding of my take on gods and D&D, but what I will say is when Critical Role in Vox Machina's campaign interacted with gods, it was very late end game type stuff.
Right.
When they interacted with actual gods. And still, I thought they were handled, even if cool and epically, I thought they were still handled like almost a little cheaply. They were
personally.
physical beings. They were like a person in the same space as you. It felt like, even with the grandeur they paid them homage with, it felt not grand enough.
I think Percy Jackson
if
handles
there
that
is
stuff
a
really well.
If there's a physical manifestation of God-like stuff, I will be putting a lot of careful thought into how I represent that.
That means she's gonna get a commission, baby.
You've already met me.
A god among men.
Ooh.
What's everyone snacking on?
White Claw.
Ooh. I
Nothing.
like that that's your snack.
Arnie Palmy
Interesting.
Water.
and Mary made Nashville hot chicken tonight, which is like my
Oh.
favorite thing she
Dude,
makes.
that is
What you got, Alex?
too
I got chocolate
spicy
chip.
for me.
We've been really hot on brioche buns lately, so I bought some and we put chili on them.
Cool.
I'm imagining Toby like instantly like thinking I need to go tattle on these people. Like he's like the teacher's pet. Like
Yeah, I think there's a level of like, wait, holy shit, this might be like way above my pay grade.
God, they're trying to make you their battery or something.
Like when I see zombies in the world, I'm like, yeah, I got you. I'll get rid of these. But when they've imprisoned a Deva, I gotta be like, I just want to make sure you're aware that they're up to some shit.
They're up to some shit for sure.
We got a Karsus wannabe going on.
Horses.
feels above our pay grade for now, at least.
Everything's above Jerry's pay grade at the moment. Just trying to survive. Rude. Well,
A wolf in the woods is a tough battle for Jerry.
If Jerry
right now,
doesn't
probably.
sleep tonight, he dies.
Not looking good.
All right. Well, we can ease our way back in by a reaver appearing in the door, Alex. I'll
Yes,
put on a
and-
little bit of tense music just to set a mood.
So upon quick reflection, I decide to transform back into a spider and sneak out the door as the Reaver like kind of comes in. And as I'm on my way out, I wink with one of my 8 eyes to the slime monster, indicating that I'm coming back for him.
Okay. Go ahead and make.
Does he see your invisible wink?
No, you are fully invisible.
Spider
this
wink.
Is not a, this is not a stealth requirement. Go ahead and make a perception check. Very good.
Juice.
As some of the others had seen earlier, before you started to double back, as he enters the room and you seize this opportunity to shrink your form and still invisibly scuttle in between his legs and out the door, grabbing your chance to escape being sealed in here, you see him put back into his left pocket a gleaming topaz yellow colored gemstone that has the same glow and coloration to it as the glyphs on the ground.
That's important information. I want one of those stones.
But otherwise, you are able to walk out of Skitter out of the room underneath his feet, and he lets the door close behind him, and you imagine he starts carefully looking through that room. Where do you go?
I'm gonna make my way towards the rest of the group. And specifically, I want to skitter into my, like, husk body.
Okay. In order to get there, you are going to need to go down the hallway past the several locked doors, down to where this door is currently locked and closed.
All right.
I will clarify that you are either going to need to find a way to bully your way past this door, or hope your spider form in your invisible state can buy enough time to wait here for the Reaver to inevitably come back this way and open the door for you.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna chill here until the Reaver comes back and opens the door.
Big chill.
Chilling.
As you start waiting there, and invisibility has a time limit of an hour?
Yeah, an hour.
Okay. So you should be golden. You probably killed 20 minutes of it investigating the interior of the lab, but you've got a healthy amount of time left on that.
Sure.
And for now, we will bring us back to the rest of the crew. At King Zavar's, I'll switch us back to a different song now.
All right, guys, let's kill him.
Yeah, I can do 6 damage.
Let's
if I
surprise
get a hit
Chris
off.
again. We got it. We got Coda. Now he won't be expecting us to get Zavar.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what that Wyvern Stinger can do.
Yeah, as Zavar has been talking
What that
amongst you
stinger
all,
do.
you do see his wyvern adjust its position and perch, and its tail sort of hangs between its legs and dangles down over the awning, and it leans down like 15 feet long and just slowly and sort of ominously sways back and forth. And you definitely know that stinger would have reach, a serious reach. But at the indication that Zavar is interested in some sport and reluctantly going along with Moira's suggestion for you to fight one of her conjured pets instead of him directly, he says,
Well, to the inner chamber then.
and he will lead the way inside a portion of Lux Monastery. Not back down to the cellars from where you guys came up, but let's try and see if I can do this justice. Will it let me reveal only what I want?
But what about what you?
Did that work? Hopefully. He will lead you all past some of the Iron Guardians and through various portions of the monastery.
Oh, crit.
Yeah.
There's something I'm working on. When he's talking to Toby and the others, I want to just like take a part, like really, really carefully, just wipe his spit off on like a specific part of my sleeve.
You want to wipe a part of his spit.
No, just
off
wipe my
on
yeah,
your
wipe
sleeve.
the spit
Okay.
off my face on my
Okay,
sleeve.
you're able to do that. I don't think even sleight of hand's required there. You'll be able to do that.
Jesus.
That's a lot of blood.
Yeah, I'm writing busy notes right now.
I'm gonna do something here to make my life a little easier. Oh yeah, that's better. As he leads you into the interior of Lux Monastery with Moira and the rest of you in tow, you see this pit of bones strewn across the floor in this particular area. I need to... Oh no, that's good. You guys are kind of hard to see against some of the backdrop of that.
Moira, can't you put together some of these bones into a more fitting form? Oh yes, I've just recently conjured one in Elandris before this lot seemingly destroyed our plans there. But yes, allow me a moment. And Moira will begin to trace sigils and mutter an incantation before the bones start to writhe and shift and connect to each other into a mangled mess of a colossal form.
Oh, holy fuck.
As she summons forth a bone devil.
Moira, you've outdone yourself.
I really think I have. I think I've very directly fulfilled my end of the pact, mitigating the harm you would have seen at the hands of the king. Have fun. We'll be up above. And Moira and Zavar will retreat to the staircase and go up to the upper level,
And I
which
yell as they walk away.
allows them a small, like, upper tier balcony that they can view this oncoming fight from. Yes, what do you yell?
Brew mitigation would be our gear, so we could actually give you a bit of sport.
Oh, I think this will be sport.
Fuck. Okay, holy shit.
And I would like to ask you all to roll
Some
initiative.
fucking initiative. Holy.
And then Rome, from the cellars beneath, you'll be in initiative, and we'll see how quickly you can make it to your allies to assist. Your husk will be thrown into the ring as well. I'll go ahead and move that here if it's not. Oh, it is already there. Nice. I'm going to figure out, I think I can do a better aura around him. Let's
that
do
thing is
that.
terrifying.
Are we?
There we go.
Critter, are you gonna be like moving us to a different screen, or are we on this screen right here?
You are on this screen right
Okay.
here. Do you guys have limited vision of some
No,
kind?
I can see all the blood and everything. I'm mostly just trying to figure out, like, is that a courtyard in the middle?
Yeah,
Is
will
that...
you give some clarifying descriptions to the visual?
Because it looked like a rooftop in the middle where the Bone Devil is.
Yeah, I think the way I put some of these PNGs together
Sure.
to give layers to some of the structures here, I think interacted in a weird way where really this is a central meditation room mat. You guys have been in this room before. It's where you would have met Delta Vaughn, or not Vaughn, that was a previous name. Delta Centauri and his various other monks under his instruction. So this is sort of a meditative chamber. So it's really a mat under that, where that white is, under
Gotcha.
the bones. Also,
But this is like a
initiative
big
tracker is showing up very strangely with this white. Are you guys seeing all this white from the tracker?
From the what initiative tracker?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
am
know
not-
why it's showing. Okay, interesting. Maybe for some of you it's
Oh,
showing
Critter, do you have dark mode on?
I do have dark mode
I
on.
did as well.
It's for it's a
It's
a
just never
dark
shown
mode
up like this
glitch.
before me.
I've got
Maybe
it
if I
on and
just-
it's not being weird to me. I also have off animated graphics. I don't know if you've got a snow thing going on or anything.
I don't.
No,
It's just
Critter,
showing up
Critter, I'm seeing the
strangely,
same
but-
thing you're seeing.
Okay. I think it might be just
It
a
works
20.
fine if you're not in dark mode. I will say that.
Okay.
Because
I'm just gonna keep it the way it is for now, but I'm gonna remove from the tracker all of the units that are no longer applicable here. So Rome, I will still need an initiative from you, and we will track that.
I
Do you-
rolled. I just don't know where my character was to click on it. It was a 3.
Perfect. Sorry, Telperion was on top of your character. I switched to you guys just to make it clearer. Okay, and you got a 3.
Yeah.
And I need the Bone Devil to roll. And I also need to do that. That's a nat 20. Which means its first attack will get advantage, which we never really get to see that rule in play. Okay. I'm going to switch up the music then.
Oh no, he did not roll a fucking nat 20. Oh my Jesus.
He did roll a nat 20, and our infrequently used house rule will apply of his first attack will get advantage because of that.
When was the last time that happened?
Like, almost never.
At the top of the initiative, I'll bring Roulette to right before me.
I'm also going to have Zavar and Moira standing next to each other, but they're a floor above you, looking down on all of you fighting. Okay, you're going to bring Rome before you, Telperion?
Mm-hmm.
Roulette.
After
Roulette before me.
Roulette before you. Okay. Bone Devil's turn. As it is conjured and rises from the midst of all these cracked skulls and femurs and various debris here, it also sprouts these thin translucent wings which start to beat and buzz as it slowly lifts off the ground, not enough to leave its space but just to hover. And it will rapidly, before you even have a chance to react much, it will strike at you, Telperion, with a claw attack at advantage.
AC is 11.
Indeed. A 20 for 9 slashing damage. And then a second bone claw your way. This one not with advantage. Another 8 slashing. And then Roulette. As it's attacking Telperion with its claws, you see it coming just in time to try and dodge it as its tail stinger swipes out from the side of you, trying to flank you as it has Telperion in its front vision with its sting attack. With a reach. However, how do you dodge it? With a nat 1, it's not going to hit you.
What is my AC? I don't.
Just uncheck all of your stuff in your
12.
inventory section of.
Mine is 12 because my dex is 2. It's 10 plus 2.
Okay.
I don't even know. What am I wearing? I'm wearing just my.
Yeah, most of you are wearing like prisoner rags, like very simple burlap or cloth shirts, tassels, and general pants, kind of capri pants with a loose cord-like belt.
How big is this tail? I'm just wondering.
His tail, when it's fully elongated,
the
probably
stinger.
probably 15 feet or so.
And the stinger's probably like a foot long. Never mind. I
3 feet.
I dropped to the ground so I want to look through his legs. Can I see Moira and the king on the other side?
So they're not on the side. You know they had just walked upstairs. You can clearly see them from your vision up. They're about 10 feet up where the next floor is. There's an open balcony that looks down on this area.
Perfect.
So yeah, you can see them at the railing, like look very pleased that they're watching this encounter unfold.
Cool.
All right, that was the Bone Devil's turn. It does not move. It will hover in the air up one space, but not enough to leave Telperion's range. Roulette, your turn.
As it hovers up in the air, I am going to adjust my position and my aiming, ignoring the Bone Devil, and aiming directly for King Zavar, and I'm going to let out a lightning bolt from my mouth to go through the Bone Devil, hopefully, because it's hovering and it's right in front of me and it's directly
absolutely in line of sight, and your lightning bolt is certainly long enough. It's like a 60-foot line, right?
I believe it is a 60. Yes, it doubled to 60 feet when I did the other thing. 60 feet. So it is a 15 con save.
Okay, we'll roll the Bone
Zavar
Devil
has
first.
proficiency in all saving throws.
Bone Devil Dex save.
Dex save against Dex save 15.
Let's see here. I want to do this. 7 is definitely a fail. So you is he resistant to that? No, go ahead and roll damage. The Bone Devil is not resistant to lightning. Woo. 16 to the Bone Devil. And you see it char several of the bones. I am pulling up another stat block at this moment. I'm trying to think if his cover matters at all, the little wall at the balcony. For now, I'm going to say it's not going to matter. So I'll give him a straight up dex save. So he will also take damage.
16
I am going to say you're not able to see his resistive capabilities from here. But what you do hear is, shouldn't have done that. And you see a flash of Celestial hurling toward you immediately.
Neat.
As he throws Cryosphere. $20 will hit,
Yep.
I believe. For 9 piercing damage and 5 cold damage, and it immediately retracts to his hand, flying back to his outstretched arm, pulling itself free from your body. If you play carefree, I won't be able to mitigate the harm done to you.
I will.
But you can tell there's a sort of like challenge to it. He's not pissed off. He's more like excited about what just happened.
I will step out and step in to get a little closer to this thing.
Okay. Anything bonus action or otherwise?
Bonus action, I'm going to command all the Alfies to attack.
The whole
No, I don't.
army.
Actually, bonus action. I will cast Arcane Weapon. Fire on my pencil.
Oh, get ready.
Perfect. Oh no.
So
I know it, Toby.
I see that happen.
Yep, you do see that happen. All right, that is it for Roulette.
Because Arcane Weapon is just verbal somatic.
It is Telperian's turn.
All right, I'm looking at these bone shards. We obviously walked into this room. Are there any weapons just around in this massacre that's happened?
Are you proficient with perception?
Yeah, baby.
Okay,
Elf.
make a perception check for free.
I rolled a 14. No, wait, don't tell me. I'm wrong. I rolled an 11.
There do not seem to be any general stores of weapons. The Durastians certainly don't store their weapons here. There might be able to be improvised weapons utilized from various broken chair legs or whatever you can find, books. But no, there are no true furnished weapons here.
Okay, then there's no Durastians around besides those two above.
Correct.
All right. Looking at these bone shard pile, do I see anything large that I could swing with 2 hands at this creature?
You could grab a bone,
Grab
and
a
swing
femur.
Grab a bone.
Okay, looking at its claws, they're made of bone, right?
They are.
I want to run up to its hand and try to break one of its. I'm just gonna do like a psionic punch into its fingers to try to break off one of its fingers.
Okay.
Make myself
go
a
ahead.
defense weapon.
Yeah, go ahead. Are you wanting to avail yourself of a weapon, or are you doing a true attack?
No, I want to break off one of his fingers to try to make something I can swing into this creature.
Okay, go ahead and make a athletics roll.
All right.
If you want to use psionics to assist your athletics in this moment, you could spend a die for advantage if you want.
Yes, I rolled a 2, so I do want to do that.
Okay.
All right, that's a 19 plus 9, 28.
Wow.
That's really good. You quickly slam into its hand, and you hear a crack, and you do see one of its fingers fly off. It's not long enough for a short sword, but it's long enough for a dagger.
Odd. I was hoping for... Okay, I grab it with my object interaction. Right, so bonus action, I'm going to focus and refuel a psionic die. And then I will try to maintain its focus here. That's all I'm going to do to stop.
Yeah. Toby, you're up.
Can I get some words to Telperion telepathically for like free?
Yeah, I think so. You can shout to each other for free-ish, as long as it's not a paragraph.
Basically, Jiri's weak. I can protect him. Can you put him in front of me? So, like, for initiative, can you put him in front of me next?
Sure.
Then I will cast... I mean, I got what I have prepared, and I'm looking at those spells, and I think Holy Weapon is the best thing to do here. We don't have weapons, so taking what works as a weapon and imbuing it. I guess does it matter if I do Roulette or Telperion? You just got yourself something, so you both have extra attack with the stat you need. I'll do Telperion.
I can't buff my own weapon like he can.
I was thinking maybe like major buff the one weapon, the pencil. But I will cast Holy Weapon on Telperion's improvised dagger.
Okay.
As
you begin casting this, you feel a disruption happening to your magic. You look up, and Zavar is brandishing his spell-storing ring and trying to release magic from it. You are casting a level above what his third level counterspell can do, so he has to roll for so he has to roll for it based on the intelligence modifier of the person who imbued that ring. So he has to make a roll. DC is 15.
Dude, this dude's so grimy. I thought he wanted to see a fight. Thank God.
You push past his resistance, and he just laughs and says, "It's worth a try."
Here's just a quick aside of why I now, to your credit, Chris, creating a villain like Zavar less now is like 2 swordsmen struck down Coda Nevere, and he's not going to give them swords to watch them fight. Lame. And then, so I cast Holy Weapon on Telperion's improvised dagger, and I will ready my action to curse this thing with Path to the Grave for my next chance to strike. So basically, before it gets to my turn next time, I want to release my Channel Divinity.
I've never thought about that before, but there's no reason you can't release your reaction on your turn as indicated. I think that's probably fair game. Okay.
Yeah, you're allowed to.
Cool.
Any movement? I mean, if he's got reach, I can't really interpose myself between it and Jiri, but
Protect
might
Rome.
as well spread out. Where is Telperion? Oh my god, the camouflage is crazy. I see him.
Yeah.
Now. I'll go.
In retrospect, I could have handled the shading of the bones differently, but
Wait, Crater, can you just get rid of the bone image? Because I think that was separate from the rooftop. part.
It's
Yeah,
not a big a deal,
it's
though.
just,
You just
it's
zoom
just
in
all
hard.
buried in there. You could also, all of you guys could go in and give yourself 0 radius auras.
Oh, aura. Sure.
Like I just
Okay.
put one on Telperion, it made him stand out a little bit more. Right blue might help more. There we
Boom.
go.
Yes,
Yeah.
wonderful. Awesome. If I am thinking about moving to here, like going boom, do I get the sense that it won't lash out at me since it has
You're not sure.
I'll play it safe then. Go here. Action, bonus action, movement. That's my turn.
Jiri, for the first time in a while, we check in with you. What are you doing? What's going through your mind? How is your physical body reacting right now as your friends are not there to physically prop you up right now? Paint us a picture.
Juri is on the ground. He hasn't been really saying much at all. He's kind of been unresponsive, and he's kind of like in the midst of a seizure. He's just like having a moment right now. But he's been like murmuring to himself like periodically. You kind of hear him having like a conversation in his, it sounds like he's having a conversation in his own head, but like out loud for everyone to hear. And there are like different voices coming from him. Like it's not just Jiri's voice. You hear other voices, some that you've heard from before, but others that you've never heard before. And there seems to be some type of like internal dialogue that's being spoken out loud.
Is there is there a couple like recognizable like all dark or in whatever ones we've had a chance to interact with?
Yeah, I mean, if you're listening carefully, you can hear Jiri's voice. You can hear Jax's voice. You, those would probably be the only two that you recognize.
Okay.
But there is like a predominant third one that continues to come up, and it's much softer, more, and that voice kind of has a more poetic way of saying things, or like the sentences aren't
Coherent in that way.
coherent from that one as much as the Jiri and Jax, who seem to be bickering with one another, but yeah, so that's what's kind of going on right now, Jiri.
Okay. Anything with your action, bonus action, reaction, movement, anything?
I can't move. I have no ranged attacks. I have no magic. So I will sit there and whimper, but I will say a line. I will say, you hear this third voice saying, "The walls, the veil, invisible before, but now gone. Nothing there to hold back the memories anymore. Crashing down like a dam bursting, and we, the village, in the valley below, crushed by the weight of it all."
Very fucking cool. Rome, we're back to you.
All right,
I'm going to
am I-
move you to this other screen for a moment. Only you. Waiting as an invisible spider at the edge of that room, at the end of the corridor, the Reaver, disgruntled and impatient after not finding anything of note, returns and once again brandishes, pulls from his pocket this topaz crystal, waves it in front of the door, and something on the other side reacts due to its proximity, and the door activates, shifts open, grinds into its shelf inside the wall, and the Reaver walks through. Do you seize this chance to walk through as well?
Yeah.
Okay. You're able to walk through and able to start moving through this space as fast as you want or are able to. What do you want to do? It is currently your turn, technically.
I mean, I want to get as close to the battle as I can get.
Okay. Do you want to dash in your spider form? Do you want to
Yeah, I will
do
dash
anything
my.
else? Okay.
I'm gonna dash. Let me tell you how much space I can move.
Only, I think the spider might
It's only 20 feet, or
Yeah.
yeah, so I guess 40 feet. It goes 40 feet.
Okay. So that's pretty fast for a little spider. So you start moving in that direction. If over the next couple turns you have other resources you want to use on getting there faster, wild shaping into other things, using magic, you're welcome to do so. Just know you might get attention on the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to not draw attention to myself.
Okay. So dashing at least for that turn.
Meeting over.
Well done.
That was cruel and funny.
I
thought
was
that was kind of fine. It was like there was enough of a breath there of
Sure.
okay, your thing's done, meeting over, done, and like at least I wasn't.
It just felt like such a
mid-sentence.
no. You're done talking now, and it's over.
That's awesome. Okay, so for the squad up in this area, it is the Bone Devil's turn again, but it's also the beginning of combat, so or beginning of initiative. So Telperion, you can make an adjustment if you would like.
I'll put Toby before me.
Okay, and everyone definitely keep in mind that you have soul die available, which are not equipment based and therefore are a part of who you are.
A feature.
All right, it is the Bone Devil's turn. It looks in confusion at its broken hand, and then to Telperion holding the world's tiniest sun sword, made from its bone, and it will once again rear up and I think take both claw attacks at you, Telperion.
Bring it on.
First
Out of
attack,
second window already.
17.
Yeah, I'm gonna psionic.
Reduce the damage of the.
Yes,
first
sir.
Do any
Okay.
of us have above a 12 AC? I don't think so.
I'm at a cold 11.
Okay. So with both of these attacks coming your way, what do you reduce the first one to?
6, 7, 8. I take 9 off, so
Okay, so
Nice.
3 and then 9 for a total of 12 slashing damage.
all right. I got my dagger and I go like this, and there's a little force bubble around me.
And then its stinger will target. We'll roll a d20. High is Roulette, low is Toby.
Net 20. That's low.
Average.
That is on the low 10, so that's a Toby.
I try to take
Toby.
it.
No.
A 22 to hit. You'll take 14 piercing damage, and you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
For concentration, or is that different?
It is for the poison
Oh,
part
gotcha.
of the effect.
Oh, jeez. Can I ask a question?
Always.
If I were to fail this saving throw, would the piercing and the poison damage together be what I have to concentrate against, or would it be
Total
two
damage,
chances?
not separate sources. Total damage.
That's a high check.
You got a luck, right?
I do have a luck. I don't have an inspiration. I used my D8.
Ooh, I have one of those. I haven't used that yet.
You know. Oh wait, hang on. It's I use the luck for this, or I use the luck for the concentration. Both, I don't know what DC I'm rocking with. Well, I know that damage DC, but it's high, and I don't know that.
You have a turn before me anyway, so
I sure do.
What are you doing?
I will not use a luck point on that saving throw.
Okay.
My luck point.
You will take 35 points of total damage, and you become poisoned for some duration.
you're the best to get poisoned though, because you don't attack roll that much.
Please make
I was,
a
planning
Constitution
to
saving
attack
throw for concentration. The DC is
17?
17.
I was planning to do an upcast up inflict wounds with my vulnerable damage. 17 con save. No. Holy weapon drops.
Oh, because 16 won't help. That's not fun.
Well, doesn't you do a D8, don't you?
I don't have a D8.
I'm not saving.
No, I thought you.
Unfortunately,
Damn, I wish I
a
shielded you.
heavy
but-
wound. You do take on the poisoned condition as some sort of foul, otherworldly ichor seeps into your bloodstream and just instantly revulses your entire body, which facilitates part of the concentration loss. Telperion, you see your flickering bone dagger disappear.
I wanted to use that.
Shit. I mean, you still can. I got another slot, but I got.
All right,
It's not my turn, so.
Roulette, it is your turn.
I look back up at Zavar and I give him a big smile and I just like I like wipe the blood on these like prison clothes that I have where he stabbed me with this spear and I just like wipe it across, give him a wink, and I'm assuming there's like piles of bones at my feet.
There are piles of bones at your feet, and I'll also show you just more clearly. The Bident.
The Bident of Thrasso. Is that what it is called?
Yep.
I'm going to keep looking up at him, and then I'm just gonna like start laughing and the laughings, and I'm gonna go down into the bones, and I'm gonna start just like pushing bones, and I'm gonna keep pushing bones and like tossing some of them up in the air, like just making a ruckus with the bones, and the laugh gets louder and louder and louder until it becomes a roar, and I'm going to bonus action Daunting Roar.
Okay.
Getting Bone Reaper, Devil, and then Moira and the King. DC 15 Wisdom save.
Awesome.
Very awesome. I need to pull up Moira's stat block as well now.
Tobirama is poisoned.
Apologies, should have had some of these pulled together. Alright. That is what I thought. I just wanted to confirm.
Oh, Jesus.
I know she's got
Wi-
advantage.
Wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
The Bone Devil, not sure of the noise, looks timidly in your direction, and then just its eyes start to burn red with coals. Dead energy just falling forward from the skull that makes up its face. And Zavar and Moira just laugh from the balcony at you.
Into that fearfulness.
Oh, probably. I keep digging through, and the second that I find the like most bludgeony bone I could possibly find,
You're able to find something that could be functionally like
a small dense skull.
Sure, yeah.
I'm gonna keep just like tossing bones up, but then I am going to cast Conjure Barrage using
That's awesome.
the bludgeony bone that's in my hand, doing the same thing that I just did, angling the 60-foot cone up directly at Zavar, Moira, and the Bone Devil.
Very cool. I'll handle this one, Your Majesty. And just puts a hand out in your direction from Moira and absolutely instantaneously suffocates the spell.
End of turn.
Tobirama, you're up.
It's true, isn't it, that I'm up. I release my curse to take hold on this creature. What is it? What is the channel divinity?
What does it look like when your curse is starting to affect its form? Because this is your reaction on your turn, you know, your reaction's not going to replenish until it's your next turn.
Okay.
But
this thing, how do I? Yeah, I don't have a great visual in mind. I envision that
That's okay.
I'm like trying to pull it back into the hells where it came from. If this is a devil, so it maybe
Okay.
it is like it has a visual of moving a little sluggishly as I'm trying to just.
You might even see little bits of bone dust start to fall from each individual segment of it, sort of pulled back down to the earth from whence it was summoned.
And then I believe I understand. Oh. Okay. Before I do this, if I move to flanking with Telperion, then I've got
Mhm.
advantage, disadvantage from poison, neutral roll. If I then want to
For
use
melee
a
attacks.
luck point,
Mhm.
how does that interaction work?
The neutral would be the defining roll. Luck rerolls one extra d20 that can potentially overpower the reigning roll.
So I'll try and
So it's
flank it with
luck is
Telperion.
particularly strong, I think, when disadvantage is in play. But in this case, it would be a normal roll, but it's still very
Sure.
beneficial.
I'll do this. And at 4th level, cast Inflict Wounds.
Okay. Advantage, disadvantage cancel each other out. Go ahead and roll a straight roll.
How do I... I don't want it to roll the damage. I don't think it will if I do it like this.
Wish I had 2 of those in this thing.
You hear from above.
Alright, so 28 to hit.
That's a hit.
So 3d10 plus 3 outcast levels equals 6d10 and is vulnerable to all of this.
Yep.
Is it immune to necrotic?
I mean, it's a devil. I was thinking about that. Is it undead? I don't know, and I was thinking I don't
Roll
think
your
so.
12d10 and we'll figure
I'm
it
rolling
out.
6d10, and then it's double.
And then you're going to double it. Okay.
Not my favorite, but 56 necrotic damage makes its way.
The bone dust that was gently falling off these bones now rapidly deteriorates part of the form of this thing. It will, however, use its reaction. Taking a penalty to its AC, it will shatter a portion of the bone you're affecting in order to gain resistance to all of its damage. Everyone within 5 feet, which is Roulette, Toby, and Telperion, you take 2 piercing damage as shrapnel of bone shards is ejected from the entire creature. So the vulnerability and the resistance it just chose to gain cancel each other out, but you do deal 28 points of necrotic damage to it.
I believe that's just for cantrips, if that would get added into it. Blessed Strikes is just cantrips. Cantrips or weapon attacks. Okay. That's my action and reaction.
Is
Fuck,
anyone
man.
concentrating on anything? Roulette, are you concentrating on anything?
Yeah.
Just from taking 2 piercing damage, you will need to make a just basic DC 10. Perfect, you're good.
Dude, that's gorgeous. That's it.
Oh, good call.
Bonus action. I am at 33 out of 83. I'd love to cast Sanctuary on myself, but I'm just gonna kind of undo that next turn, probably by attacking or doing some sort of a harmful effect.
What are you doing?
My bonus action is going. Oh, I can't use a spell because I just cast Inflict Wounds, obviously. I believe that leaves me with. I can either spend that. I'm not going to, so I will. I mean, fuck. This looks unfortunately very dire, so my wings will pop out as a bonus
Okay.
action.
Perfect.
That's my turn.
Telperion.
I'm thinking of swinging with flanking on this thing, my dagger.
Yep, absolutely. Go ahead and roll advantage.
9 plus 18.
18 just hits because of its reduced AC.
That is very fortunate.
Started with a higher. Oh my God.
All right, so I'm doing a D4.
D4 plus strength.
I have a literal Wi-Fi router on my foot right now.
Hold on.
Hold for Wi-Fi.
Good. I guess I'm gonna psionic on this, so a D8 as well.
Okay.
Okay. Wow, I don't get to reroll that one. That sucks. So 3, 8, 9, 10, 12 damage. Strength save, please.
12 damage.
12 piercing, some force in there.
Yeah, so can you split up the piercing from the force?
8 piercing, 4 force.
Okay. You do see it is resistant to the non-magical piercing damage, but your telekinetic energy helps deal some additional damage there. But it resisted a portion of that damage. And then strength save. Ooh, prone?
Yeah.
Nice. You smash the bones. It almost looks like a detonation of the creature as it falls to the ground, and then bits of bone are sort of summoned to it almost magically, magnetically, as it tries to start standing itself back up and prone at this time.
Is it looking hurt?
It's looking hurt.
Okay.
A bunch of bone shards are sort of sticking out from it at odd angles, and bits of it have been damaged and destroyed.
All right. I'm gonna
You see the thin red vein pumping from its infernal heart all the way through its tail stinger.
I'm going to action surge. And with my action surge,
You've only swung once so far.
I know. Well, there's yeah, I'm just gonna try. Well, I don't want to do it. Never mind. I'm not gonna never mind. I'm just gonna swing my second time.
Okay. Go ahead and roll with advantage.
28.
Definitely hits.
6 damage piercing.
6 damage of piercing, which it will resist partially. Perfect.
That's my turn.
Okay. Jiri. Still reeling on the ground, I imagine, but anything new going on with you?
No. Jiri will keep his I'm trying to think of the right word.
Oh. Nothing.
His what's that when you're like having a moment, like when you're having like a
crisis?
No, a seance, maybe, is that the word I'm looking for? Where he's kind of just like muttering to himself, and he says this time in that strange third voice, all one? But how could it be? All one, but we should be separate. Separate is safe, forgotten, isolated. That is the way, a secret way, our way, but no more. Now, a lie, a horrible lie, suffocated, drowned in the immensity of the deception, all of our own making. But what are we? What am I?
Very fucking cool.
That's it.
Okay. Rome, we're back to you in the basement.
I'm trying to get out of this basement, so I'm gonna dash again.
Okay. Dash again. The Reaver, luckily, has a movement speed equivalent to that of a dashing spider. So he continues to walk out, intending to report to Moira of his lack of finding anything there of your form. And he opens the doors, and you're able to scuttle through.
Perfect.
I know it's a while, but 2 more turns of dashing as a spider should get you to your friends.
If I were to have like climbed on, like if I like grabbed onto his pant leg, would I be able to get there faster? Just like hypothetically.
He'll probably move at the same speed your dashing will move, so you'll expend less energy, but you'll go the same distance per turn. Because he's
Okay.
not sprinting back to his boss, he's just walking.
Right.
Not a very
Well,
good.
also, I mean, I guess I have ranged attacks, so once I'm out of the basement, I can.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yep. That's it.
Okay. All right, then we'll pull you back here, and it will be the Bone Devil's turn, and Telperion can make an adjustment if you would like.
I'm cool with the position.
Okay. The Bone Devil, as its sort of partially detonated form is trying to regroup and stand itself back up, it screeches. And all of the surrounding skulls, whether in its form or scattered across the area, all start to glow and screech with it. And they begin to inject all of your minds, those within 5 feet of the Bone Devil at least, with horrific visions of what their deaths might be like. I need
Neat.
the 3 of you next to it to please make a wisdom saving throw.
Roll an 8.
Oh.
I guess I'll Indomitable. Well, yeah.
So indomitable.
Well, I rolled that. Fail.
We can't turn against each other right now, Steve.
Yeah, I'm Indomitable for the roll.
Toby, Rama, and Roulette, you will take half. Telperion,
Damage.
you will take 22 points of psychic damage, and you are currently frightened of this creature. Roulette and Toby Rama, you are not frightened, and you take half, so just 11 psychic damage each. I will need
11.
a concentration check from those concentrating.
Oh yeah.
DC of 10.
Not concentrating on nothing.
Yeah, so just Roulette's arcane weapon, I believe. Okay, you're more than good.
My pencil is still on fire.
It slowly gets to its feet and does not have anything else it can do, but it will not be prone any longer. Yeah, that'll do it for the Bone Devil. Roulette, you're up.
I am going to start walking this way, and I'm going to be finger pointing, tutting at Moira as I'm doing it, and then I'm going to step underneath the balcony from where they are, so she can no longer see me.
Yep.
I am then going to put my left hand on my right wrist, and I'm going to channel a use of Burning Hands through my little tattoo thing directly at the Bone Devil. It is a DC 16 16, what the hell is it? Dex, DC 16 Dex.
You see it not able to leap away. Its very large form has just managed to sort of right itself, and so it looks right at you as your torrent of flame begins to encase it, and you don't even see char marks on the bones of this devil.
At the last instance before the fire goes out, you see the fire pulse with like a shockwave. Critter, can you roll a d6 for me? 1, 2, 3 are the bad guys. 4, 5, 6 is Telperion, Toby, Jiri. Oh no, sorry, hold on. That's not what I meant. It is even odd.
I know what you're doing. I forgot about this feature.
Apologies. I need to roll the d8 first, is the thing. I forgot.
Okie dokie.
D8. 2. I gain 2 temporary hit points.
Any visual or sensory phenomena that happen with that nearby players might catch on to?
It is just you'll see the tattoo mark glow even brighter, and the fire. It's not like you turned up the burner on a stove. There's like a shock wave that goes out and then comes back to Roulette as she loses one bruise underneath her right eye.
Perfect.
That's action. I didn't do bonus action because I ain't got none. That's my turn.
Yeah. Toby.
Okay. What sort of juice do we got going on? I mean, yeah. This is efficient. It is. Hopefully, I can make it to next round because I am getting low. I will start with Toll the Dead. Wisdom saving throw from the Bone Monster.
Okay. Wisdom save.
Holy shit.
Rolled pretty well.
That is unfortunate. That would have been some pretty decent damage. No longer. Bonus action, holy weapon on Topirian's improvised dagger. And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Holy weapon activated again.
Is it a magic weapon now?
It is considered magic for the purposes
Mhm.
of overcoming resistance to non-magical uses.
Indeed.
Sick.
All right.
Sorry, I lost your advantage.
Well, is Toby helping me with advantage?
Yeah, just scoot up one.
That's
Perfect. You see Moira think about it. As you cast that spell, you see her raise her hand and then let it go. Telperion, your turn.
Am I flanking with Toby?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I'll be at just a neutral roll.
Yes, striking it within sight of the source of frighten, yes, would be disadvantaged, but you're canceling it out 100%.
Okay. Plus 9 to this attack roll. 25.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely hits.
Clutch. So 2d8s and a d4.
2d8 radiant damage added to your attack.
And I'll psionic strike it.
Yeah.
So I'll add another
It
d8.
is not going to be resistant or immune to any of this damage, so it sounds like 3d8 plus 1d4 plus mods.
Yeah, so plus 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, could I roll more ones? So I just said plus 8, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 as I go right at its heart.
Wow, you do so, and you penetrate with its own bony shard of a finger, jam it into its own heart, and like a detonation of concussive force and radiance happens, and it screams in pain. You definitely deal a healthy blow with that strike, and it's certainly blood gushes from the heart.
And it's got to do a strength save for prone.
Oh, perfect.
I think I can make it go horizontally, but it's beneficial here.
Fail.
It would have to
So then I'll do like a little flip maneuver and come down on its like back of its neck with a straight roll.
Yep, still straight roll.
Nat 20.
Wow, well done.
So 4d8,
This-
2d4 or 2d4. Another d8. Okay.
You can't psionic more than once.
Nope, but I can use my, and I will use my soul crest to do 2d10 to this as well.
Juice.
Just add a d10.
Yeah.
Neat.
2d10, 4d8, and 2d4.
Plus
4d8,
mods.
2d10, 2d4 plus 5.
Fuck. With a little bone knife. Wow.
It's plus 5, right? Is that what it is?
Plus 8. No, plus 5. Plus 5. But
Okay. So six. I rolled 3 1s. One of them was on the D10. Um, Roulette, if you want, you can use half your movement speed right now without any of fear of OA. Six.
I'll stay where I am.
12 plus, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 12. 12 plus 8 is 20, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 damage.
31 damage.
On the back of its neck with that bone dagger.
A heavy, heavy strike.
Damn, of 3 1s, 3 of them were on, one was on a D8, one was on a D10. I guess
on
I'll.
that, at that reception of damage, it will shatter shield. It will reduce its AC by 1 more. Detonate some bone shards to take half the damage of that strike.
Of that strike?
I still
Yes,
haven't
that
used
second
my
one.
luck point, so I gotta make a con save. Still
Yes, you
shining
save
bright.
your con save. Telperion takes 2 piercing damage. To help
Is it
Toby
within
takes
5
2.
feet of it?
Within 5 feet of it, so Roulette does not need to save. You see bone shards fly past you and hit your face, but they're tiny pieces that are not as harmful.
Do I see? I'm looking around. Do I see any heavy, big object?
Me.
You see some ripped up floorboards.
Good enough. Okay. I'm gonna.
You might see a broken wood sliding door that would have adorned one of the rooms of this monastery.
It doesn't matter. I want to use
that might be
these D8s.
heavy.
I want to use these
Okay.
D8s while I got them. I'm gonna action surge and swing 2 more times.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Nat 20.
Damn. Okay.
Jeez.
So 2d4, 4d8. I really wanted to do this before Toby risked losing concentration. Again. Okay.
Probably the fastest I've ever gone through my 5th level spell slots.
8, 9, 10, 18, 22, 29. 29.
With the 6. 22 plus 6 is 28.
This is a 5.
Oh.
27. 27 damage.
27 damage. It cannot gain resistance that time.
No, plus 5.
32
5,
total damage.
32, an additional 5. Okay.
Getting overwhelmed by the dice.
All right. Final strike.
Yep, final strike.
Still neutral
17
roll.
plus 9, 26.
Damn, you're rolling really well.
Yes.
Now she wishes she counterspelled it.
Mm-hmm.
8, 9, 10, 12 damage.
Did you add 5?
Yeah.
No, 12 plus 5 is
17.
17.
Okay. With those strikes hacking away its form and sort of singeing away some of the dark energy holding this creature together, it's looking very weak. Like a loose spine holding its head to its rib cage, and the rest of the bones trying to manifest a form to keep it upright. It's very low. That it for Telperion?
I guess I'll bonus action, and we would have a bonus action. I'm gonna bonus action. These are neutral, right? It can't, because yeah, these can't change. If I quick toss my dagger at it, I guess
You have no advantage in that situation.
or
Your ranged
disadvantage, right?
No, you have disadvantage from frightened for sure.
Oh, I have nothing giving me advantage on
Yeah,
it.
flanking doesn't apply it for ranged attacks.
Okay, I'm just gonna hold off and do nothing.
Okay. Jiri, you're up.
Oh, Jiri. He is still unable to move or do anything. This time, he's just gonna start chanting in Jiri's voice, "You are Ja Jiri, all Jawland," over and over again for a few seconds.
Very cool.
That's it.
Rome. I'll give you one here. As they start climbing as you guys start climbing the stairs, you find an opportunity. The Reaver hears the sound of fighting and not aware of the skirmish of sport that's happening above. He will take off running. I'll say you are able to, with the Reaver dropping on his shoulder, get into the battle. And I'll move you here. Reaver emerges and dashes. And Rome, you as a spider are now on the shoulder of this Reaver. And as the Reaver sees the king and Moira looking down in amusement, he realizes it's nothing that he needs to be aware of, but he doesn't like the bone devil he's looking at, so he just throws his hands up and starts walking away. Do you jump off the Reaver in this moment?
Yeah, I'd like to go my corpse.
Okay. You're able to skitter over. It probably will still require your dash to get that far, but you are able to clamber into your corpse. If your normal movement speed is 10, then yes.
20 feet.
20 feet.
Yes, 20. So you're dashing at 40. That's right. So within your normal movement, you can get into your husk.
Okay, cool. All right, so it doesn't require an action for me to transform back into my normal.
I believe it's a bonus action.
I think it's a bonus.
Oh yeah,
action.
okay. Well, I mean, okay, so using my bonus action, I de-transform out of the spider form into my like corpse, which I would assume would like make me like the whole thing invisible because I'm still invisible, right?
It wouldn't make the husk invisible, but you're going to sort of detonate this dried, frail husk of shrubbery and twigs as you enlarge, but it will just sort of crack and crumble. But you're right, you are still invisible.
Okay. And I still have some movement left because now I'm in my like original form.
Correct. Yeah, you have 10 feet of movement left, I think.
Okay, so let me just see. And okay, so like this is a door. I just want to make sure this is a doorway right here, and this is a doorway right here.
Correct.
All right, I'm gonna try and make my way to like the corner of the door.
Okay.
I guess I'm not gonna be able to hide anyway. Well, all right. Maybe I'll just stay where I am and like not really move. So I'm still gonna like play like the husk character. Like, oh, I'm just a husk. Like, because when I cast the spell, then invisibility is gonna go away. Correct.
Correct.
I'm gonna cast slow on the bone devil.
Okay. Very cool.
And
what does it need to do?
so slow. You
wisdom.
alter the time around up to 6 creatures of your choice in a 40-foot cube within range. So it's only going to be the bone devil, and that needs to succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be affected by this spell for the duration.
Okay. $16?
Yes. Okay. So it fails. All right. So
Okay.
these are all its issues. Its speed is halved. It takes -2 penalty to AC and dexterity saving throws, and it can't use reactions. On its turn, it can either use an action or a bonus action, but not both. And regardless of the creature's abilities or magic items, it can't make more than one melee or ranged attack during its turn.
Such a good fucking spell.
And its AC is reduced further from its already shattered appearance. Okay, cool.
If the creature attempts to cast, If the creature attempts to cast a spell with a casting time of 1 action, roll a d20. On an 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until the creature's next turn, and the creature must use an action on that turn to complete the spell. If it can't, the spell is wasted. A creature affected by the spell makes another wisdom saving throw at the end of each of its turns. On a successful save, the effect ends for it.
Perfect.
And we'll need to jump zooms.
Jump zooms.
I think slow is one of the best spells in the game.
It good.
It's so
All right.
good.
Bone Devil is slowed. Rome, you become visible, but you are sort of surrounded by sort of dead plant growth around you, and it does sort of give the impression of that you just are recovering from that status you were in.
Excellent.
Fucking well played, Alex. Incredible.
Okay. It appears to be the Bone Devil's turn. Slowed.
Any changes?
Oh, did I get a save at the end of my
Yes,
turn?
yes, I saw your question, and then we jump zooms. Yes, you absolutely get another save against it.
+0, 2.
You are still frightened of this monstrosity in front of you. Yes, although you're frightened, are there any tactician moves you want to make?
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna put my no.
Let me go first.
Yeah,
I'll weaken it for you.
you can go first.
Go after me.
No, I'll just leave it where it is.
Okay.
What I wanted to do is go before. I want Toby's spell to not lose, but he's good.
Go before Toby then.
It has its turn now, so it being at the top of the initiative is the problem.
Bone Devil's speed is halved, which means it will need to use all of its movement to even stand up. And then it's trying to move its arms, but they're too slow and too damaged, so it will make the one attack with its stinger. Who deserves the ire of this thing? I think it's gotta be Telperion.
Ha ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Fetid Sting coming your way. Anything it can do?
I'll use
That
my
was-
reaction.
Well, wait, don't use your reaction.
That was so exciting for me for 1 second until I realized I'm never gonna get a crit off on this party.
No, because I'm gonna silvery barbs it.
Okay.
I'm gonna reach into his mind with a psionic strike.
No material components necessary.
Verbal
for that,
only,
right?
baby.
Verbal only. Okay.
Try again. You shout.
Try again. What do you think about that?
Still pretty good.
Um,
So with a 26, 20 piercing damage, and you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
3 plus 7. I'm down. Plus
Yes,
6.
you
So yeah, I'm down, and I'm literally down because I have 27 HP.
Okay. Reduced to unconsciousness and poisoned, Telperion fades and passes out,
And
falling
frightened.
to the ground, and frightened.
Scared cat.
You hear a cacophony of satisfied laughs from the various skulls attached and making up this thing's form, but they're slowed in their cacophony. Roulette, you are up.
Toby, can you get him?
I will shout. I think so.
I'm gonna. Is there a roof above the heads of of Moira?
Above the top level, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Because I am drunk crazy now at this point. I am going to grab the two bludgeoniest looking skulls I can. I'm going to step forward, and then I'm just going to start stepping up in place with my winged boots that I infused this morning. And as I pass by, I will toss one to Moira. Maybe this will give you a better view. And I'm going to go on the roof above them, and I'm going to turn back, and I'm going to attempt another conjure barrage, obviously making sure I avoid hitting Toby. But if the math is right, baby, I'm going to catch this guy in it too.
Okay, you're absolutely welcome to do that. What
yeah.
is it? Is it a 60-foot cone?
It's a 60-foot cone, so I'm just gonna have the right edge of
Okay.
the cone
Yep,
hit
I got
him
you.
and like destroy the rest of the room.
Yes, you are gonna destroy some of the wooden paneling and stuff with shrapnel, but yeah, you're absolutely able to angle the cone.
It is
as you
a-
need.
Oh, I gotta give advantage to somebody with my spell before I went down.
That's true.
I'll give it to Toby.
Not me. Not me.
It's on your next anything,
Sure.
so it's like a bardic.
DC
Okay.
16
16.
dexterity saving throw, and I believe he has disadvantage because he is slowed.
He has -2 because he's
Or minus
slowed.
2 or something. Yeah.
That's an 8.
Love it. So we'll do 3d8 bludgeoning. She specifically picked the bludgeoniest thing because she's having flashbacks to fighting bone centaurs, hoping that this does something.
You do not see it have any enhanced effect, but even with the 10 damage, that's enough to take this thing down. You also see the Reaver sprayed with shit, and he just backs up and takes some damage. But how do you destroy the Bone Devil?
I just want to completely bring to dust all of the bones so that like the bones of it get combined with the bones that I'm conjuring and you just can't see it anymore.
Perfect. You destroy it, it detonates and just crumbles to the ground. In this moment, it collapses as you described. You can't even tell what was the Bone Devil versus what is just the surrounding environment.
And without any hesitation, there is a healing magic directed towards Telperion. I'll do a 4th level healing word, which gives you 25 HP immediately without rolling, and then I'll use my action to lay my hands on you and get you to 35.
Thanks, bro.
Roulette, moments after your victorious destruction of this creature, you see a woman fly out from under you. You're rather resourceful, aren't you? And then gesture toward your boots. And for a moment, they go inert and you plummet, landing on the roof's sloped curvature, and you fall 15 feet down toward the mat. Please make an acrobatics check. That will succeed, so you will not fall prone. You will only take half the damage, and it was only enough for a single d6. So you'll take 2 damage and are not prone. And then the moment you hit touchdown, you can feel the magic come back to your boots. The dispel magic she used only momentarily disrupting the magic, like the glyphs from below that Rome had found. But at the conclusion of this combat, Zavar laughs and says, "Ha ha ha ha! Oh, they've got some recklessness to them, haven't they? You all are lucky I'm the personality I am. Any other king might have gutted you where you stand if you aim a blow at your authorities. But I like it. Shows me what a feral animal is like when it's backed into a cage. Moira, continue your experimentation. And that boy there, we will need his medallion eventually. Don't lose sight of him. I take my leave.
Do you know him? I ask. And as I ask him, I cast Detect Thoughts.
Ooh. Let's see.
And I'd maybe like to try something once any attention is directed towards Telperion in that question.
Trying to decide on a thing. I think that's fair game. All right. wisdom save, Telperion?
Well, I'm just doing surface level first.
Oh, surface level. You don't get words or an image, but as you say, do you know him? You can feel in his mind an instantaneous, very quick pang of recognition. Do you press deeper?
Yeah. 15 whiz. And I wanna real quick, I'll just do my best to silvery barbs that.
Okay. As you cast Detect Thoughts and feel that moment of recognition ping your awareness, and then you dive deeper, you can feel his resistance as he realizes you're looking into his mind, and he forces you out, and then you utter your incantation and change his ability to do so, and you push in. And you see a man in his mid-30s or so, bald, dark-skinned, handsome. And he looks distinctly like Tobirama. And his arm is outstretched around the shoulders of another man that looks very similar to him, with a crown on his head. And you are seeing those glimpses, and as you're paying attention to them, Zavar, just before he was intending to leave, steps off the balcony, allows Cryosphere to slow his fall, and he will thrust Cryosphere into your body, Telperion, 3 times.
Jesus.
Can I get some? Well, this might be a Telperion question, but your use of the word "him" that looks like him, referring to Zavar or to the person who looks like me?
I was gesturing to you when I asked.
Oh, yes, yeah. So, the man looked like Tobirama, and the man he had his arm around looked like this man, though slightly different.
Like brother or like father and son, like age-wise?
Similar, more closer to siblings.
Okay.
And then Telperion, you have 3 attacks coming your way.
I will use 1 psionic die to try to mitigate this.
Okay.
Ooh, 10 is mitigated.
10 out of... Okay, so the first one, 3, then 15 for 18, then 14.
Total?
So 40.
Yes.
42 minus 10.
It's 30.
32. I have 35 HP. So I'm at 3 HP.
He will action surge and stab you twice more.
Roll to hit, baby.
With his 11 AC. Plus 12 to hit. He had to roll in that one to miss.
Yeah, pretty much.
Telperion, as he reduces you to unconsciousness, and then sticks another Cryosphere in your gut for an automatic 2 death save.
Use a reaction to turn that into 1 death save.
You're welcome to do that because it's not an auto crit that way. He pulls out the bident from your gut, Telperion, and lets you fall to the ground.
Do not test my patience, elf. I would slit your throat from your head if not for the pact binding my advisor. See to him. Don't let him die. Moira, do not fail me.
Make Moira heal him.
And Zavar storms out.
I'm
of
not
this
waiting for that. I give a third
scene.
level healing word to get you 3d4 plus 5 plus 4 is 21 HP.
Toby, in your head, you just hear a thanks, Toby.
I don't think it's that even keeled, but sure.
And after a few moments of Zavar leaving, you can hear the beating wings of his beast, raising him into the sky and flying northward. A few moments later, Moira comes down very calmly the stairs and says, I will do what I can to mitigate the harm done to you all while you are in my employ. But you, Enger, the king, there's not a whole lot I can do.
I want to walk over and see to Jiri and just I want to try and I heard some of what was being said. What is Jiri's state right now? Does he seem catatonic?
Moira will walk over to him with you and evaluate as well. But Jiri, what are you looking like right now?
He's still the same. He's still muttering to himself. It's back to that other voice. The third one that you haven't heard before. And he's currently saying... this was right after he had just been, like, muttering that he is Jajir Jarl Jawland. Jajir Jarl Jawland. And then the third voice comes in and says, I lie. A shadow of a story told in darkness. Trapped in a prison of this wretched witch. Tale spun by a friend, an old friend who did not recognize our face. But it was a lie, a horrible, horrible lie. A voice raspy and weak told us those lies. How enthralled we were by them. We heard those tales before, many years before, with a different name and a different face.
Wretched witch is a bit much. I recognized one of the voices. Jax is in there, isn't he? Another
Jax.
fractured persona or memory of Jiri.
I'm pretty concerned. Can I make an? I never enjoy just saying, "Can I make an insight check?" But Moira was speaking to the tune of, she is not eager to see Jiri or this person die. Can I try and sense the reliability of that? I heard him say some things during that combat. Do I think that if I relay those, she would be willing to use that to help him stabilize?
Go ahead and make an insight check. That gives me very clear idea of how to frame her mindset.
I'm willing to... Nice, never mind. I'll live with 27.
Okay, if you're happy with that. You deduce very quickly that your suspicion is definitely correct, that she does not want Jiri to die. She does not want him to be hurt. She has to protect this beautiful, rare piece of cattle she has in captivity. And it's not from an emotional attachment to him. She wants him as fodder for her experiments. It is a heartless and ruthless desperation to keep him alive. She wants to use him for all he's good for. And so, if you have intel to offer, she will, of course, be interested in making use of it.
Yeah, not frantic, but Toby's pretty concerned, and that other voice that said the walls were the lie were walls and keeping it together, but now they're gone and everything's becoming one. He's not okay. Do you have diamond dust? Let me try and help him. I just, not for anything else, please let me try and help him.
He needs
diamond
to
dust. For what purpose?
He's exhausted, less than himself. I need to restore him. It would help. I can't do it all at once, but
Wouldn't it just mitigate the harm to put the metal back in him, and then you could remove it again?
Perhaps that might seem an intuitive solution, if a bit rash. I don't believe any of us were here for the original binding. Who's to say the binding won't kill him outright? I'm sure that was quite an intense experience in the first place. Plus, I need to experiment on it first. Come, let us down to the lab, shall we? And we can, consider our options for how to assist our friend. Good job keeping him alive as well as yourselves. I knew you'd be able to defeat my bone colossus. Thought I'd be able to ensure the king didn't do you too much harm, but you start reaching into people's minds and prying from kingly figures. Not a great strategy.
we are
Hope it was
well
worth it.
aware of the difference in outcome a true confrontation with him would have resulted in.
Well, I want to
hope
say
so.
something too. I look at her and I bow, and I was like, "I hold you not responsible for his temper, but it wasn't worth nothing."
She nods in curiosity. Telperion, make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, that's sick. Roulette, how much damage do you take? What are you looking like?
I don't know. I took 27.
11.
I'm fine. I don't need healing.
You feel her unabashedly, without finesse, thrust herself into your mind. Go ahead and make a general... let's have you make a general deception check to see if at all you're able to hide.
Can I use my intelligence for this? Because it's not like my charm, it's my brain and mental fortitude.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great caveat. Yeah, absolutely.
So this would just be
Intelligence
plus
saving
my
throw.
in.
Plus
Yeah. 17.
17 is still under her DC, so I do think she is still going to pry from you the knowledge you gained. It is somewhat on the forefront of your mind, and it takes her a minute. You almost feel this buzzing sensation. She just has a moment of understanding, and then, come.
Is that the Arcanine?
Let us prepare. I couldn't tell you even if I knew the answer to that. Let us retire down to the lab. If you have ideas for how to aid your friend, perhaps he can sleep in your room tonight, Mr. Toby Rama.
It requires material components. It's greater restoration. It could alleviate him of this. Monitor me, watch me, have your ability to shut down my spells ready, please. While the little Telperion interaction was going on there, I am... No, not negative. I'm rolling 4d4, a d4 plus 9, 4 times on Telperion. For 4 healing words, just to help him out.
Toby, I'm fine. You don't have to-
It's first level spell slots. I'm not going to use them anything else today. For 50 healing.
Jesus, thank you. Well, I'm at 71 out of 82, so I'm alright. Thank you.
Oh, why is that not reset? Let's see.
Oh, this is fascinating. Okay. You begin healing.
I was healing.
Telperion.
Now I'm making that request of her.
Miss Tinkerer, I will want to see you in my lab once we get everyone settled. Will that be acceptable?
I'm actively digging through the bones looking for the stinger, and I just like wave over my head. Yeah, sure.
Oh, that's a good idea. See if you can acquire for me its venom gland. I could put that to use.
I will actively scavenge for a venom gland on a stinger and a stinger.
Okay, go
I'll
ahead
pick
and
up
roll
Jerry.
a nature check. And I do think it's going to be with disadvantage
That's fine. It's real low.
because it's just such a foreign creature to you.
Ah,
You
17.
you think you find it and you pull up the tail and it's just oozing out into just the muck. It has been damaged in the fight.
17.
Even
Yeah.
with a 17.
Okay. This is yeah.
I'm very obviously and intentionally making it clear I'm healing myself.
Okay. She does not seem to counterspell your healing efforts. She's allowing you guys to tend to your wounds. There is a environment here that she feels somewhat comfortable. Like she has a confidence about her that
She thinks she can take
guys,
us.
make yourself comfortable, you know? I'll shut things down if I don't like them.
Give me my shit and you're dead, bitch.
So we can pull ourselves back, I would say, to the lab underneath. I'll clear everyone off initiative here.
Is Rome with us?
Rome is
Yeah, she
with
is.
you.
I've been here
And
this entire time.
I know, but like Moira just didn't really acknowledge you being back.
oh yeah, she will say,
Yeah.
glad to have you back with us, Spirit. That's your behavior
I've
on
been
this
here
plane.
the whole time.
Maybe I should study you after I have some words with our other friend over here, looking at Roulette.
Talking about there's something weird about me.
Oh, damn it. I should use my D8 to stop her from saying no. That one.
But let me find her here. Over the course of the next couple minutes, she will escort you all back to your respective cells or rooms in the cellar. And she will put Jiri in Tobirama's room. Oops, wrong room.
Get over here.
Watch over him for a moment. I need to have words with one of your friends first, but we can see what we can do for our friend Jiri. And Telperion will guide you into that room. Rome will guide you into your room. Everyone in your respective
cast
rooms.
Death Ward on Jiri.
Okay.
And I've got Ascending left for the day, and that's about it.
Roulette, she will come collect you and request your presence in her study. Greetings, darling. I couldn't help but notice something that occurred. Many of you are quite proficient and resourceful, even with meager items at your disposal. It was curious to see you all fight, but you did catch my eye. Would you come here a moment? And we'll lead you over to this table. She will reach into a very thin drawer that's almost hidden under the lip of this desk and pull it out. There's a row of hourglass crystal vials with various colors of vapor within it. And then she retrieves from the back of that drawer a very thin journal. She flips a couple pages in and opens it, displaying the page. And then she grabs your arm
Oh, fuck.
and says, hold this page there for me, darling. Does any of that look familiar? And as you review the page, and as she has purposefully placed your bare hand brand showing on the page, you can see a detailing of about 20 different kinds of brands that look very similar to yours. None the exact form of yours, but very clearly manifestations of whatever this brand is.
Where is the brand specifically on roulette? The back of the hand. Okay.
Back of my
Back of
hand,
the
yeah.
hand. Do you know how you acquired this?
Showed up one day, and I'll open my notebook and I'll like flip back to where I took the detailed sketch of it, because I think we were in the Feywild when it first happened, because I think that was when we hit the level up, if I remember correctly, like post fight there.
Yeah, no,
Pre-fight,
you're absolutely right. It was discomfortable before that, but that's the first time it sort of manifested.
I have a section in my book called Notes from the Fae, and I write the picture of that. And I was like, showed up one day about X number of weeks, months ago, however long ago it was. Thought it might be a Fae-induced thing.
Good answer.
No, it is very much a creation of the beings of this plane. I have studied the notes I have been able to acquire whenever I can get my hands on them. It would appear that you're a subject of the Guardian Project. This is something that has been a pet study of mine for some time. Mortals are so short-sighted sometimes, but what they've achieved here in this city-wide effort of the dark, nefarious dealings within Bellidonia, they achieved some really great things. I'm studying them now, when I'm not prioritizing the king's first goals. I would very much like to study your blood as well as Jiri's.
Does Guardian Project ring any bells for me?
Go ahead and make a history check.
Oh. Too bad you have inspo.
With a nat 1, you have never heard that word used, those two words used in conjunction like that. You have no, and you grew up in Bellidonia. This is not a known nationalistic, warfare effort or resource gathering, reinforce. Like, this is not anything you've heard of before. And her suggestion that maybe this more seedy underlying populace of Bellidonia were working on this pretty quickly indicates that, like yourself, maybe no one knows about the Guardian Project other than select individuals.
I will tuck my notebook in the back of my pants, and I will hold out my right arm for my vein. At the same time, I will point to the book. Give me a bit of light reading tonight. You can take what you want.
You are a beautiful creature. Deal. And she will inject a syringe into your arm and extract from it a long vial of your blood.
Does it look like normal blood?
Yeah, normal coloration.
You've seen your hurt before.
Oh, I guess that's true, yeah. I've just been stabbed.
Yeah. But she says,
What?
You want to talk
enjoy.
about sleeping? Did it 5 times.
Enjoy. Maybe we can discuss more if I can get more blood from you in the future. And she will hand over that journal for you to have some light reading in your cell tonight. She will lead you back to your cell. and will eventually show up at Toby Rama's cell.
Could I have had a quick last bit of time to cast one spell?
What spell are you wanting to cast? She was with Roulette in there for, I would say, 10 minutes or so.
Action spell of sending.
Oh, absolutely. You have time to cast that.
To Minerva, I thought about to Nufael, I thought about Mordecai, but that would require some extra words spent explaining the situation, so I'd rather just continue with Minerva. The king mentioned their alliance with Belladonna. Can I remember if he said it had been confirmed or was it
The
in the
treaty's
process
being
of...
signed this week, is what he said.
Mentioned that the alliance with Belladonna will be confirmed by week's end. Not sure if this aligns with UKA's info from the mouth of King Zavar himself.
I will inform the Aranil at once. This is dire news, if truthful.
Yeah.
I will reach out as soon as I know more.
Another sending hits your mind moments later, and she says,
We also received word that although there were casualties, most of the northern effort survived and retook Atheros.
Hey! It's because all of the talents were with us.
Stay safe.
I anticipate I have a chance to reply.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
You want to think about it while we set zooms?
That works,
Yeah.
and that'll give us time to process after the session. Boom, boom, boom. Marching in my room.
It's a little bit of beer left.
Boom, boom, boom.
A little bit of beer gone.
I'm short resting.
You're welcome to do that. All of you are welcome to short rest.
Yeah, what sort of a response comes? I'm glad to hear it. But be warned. The acquisition of land is rather low on their priorities. This is not about a war between nations to them. Moira holds true to her deal.
Mostly.
We expect to be released at the end of the week.
Moira
yeah,
returns
that's all,
to
yeah.
your cell
Yep.
with Jiri. What's the largest diamond you had in your inventory?
Bro.
I had. I didn't delete my inventory. I just unchecked it all. Let me check. I had a 300 gold piece diamond, and I had the rose diamond. which was estimated at 300 gold.
She'll bring the rose diamond. I suspect this will work for what you need.
Can I have the means to shave it down?
Oh, goodness.
And upon the morning, I just fought for my life with everything I had.
Ugh. Disgusted by your sort of like justification,
Yeah.
she will place the diamond down and begin muttering a spell. And before your very eyes, you see it just crumble into dust. Now,
I will be able to help him in the morning. Are you
Very well.
unlimited in your ability to cast magic? I am beneath you. Clearly.
Clearly. Very well. I will hang on to it until the morning. Your spirit friend. She is strong with magic too, yes?
That is all I have seen in my travels with her is incredible bouts of magic.
Very well. Get a good night's sleep. Ensure he's comfortable. I suspect he will be able to recuperate over time. I'll check in with you in the morning. I'm going to have a word with your spirit of Earth. Ta-ta. And she will step out of your cell, leaving Jiri in your custody for this night. In Rome, she will come to you. Spirit, are there alternative accommodations I need to keep in mind for one of your elemental status? I don't want you turning into a husk every night, and if that is going to reduce you to death on my watch, that could have repercussions for my own health if you die.
Concerned about dying.
But I am concerned about you dying. It could affect me. Don't you understand? Now that I know this is a thing, I have to mitigate it.
How did you know that I grew a husk?
Grew a husk. And she surveils your surroundings. Did you conjure forth? But you arose? Yes, you require further study of that, I'm sure. And you confirmed a question I was about to ask you, that you are quite powerful in your own right. Could I ask for your assistance with Jiri tomorrow?
It depends on what kind of assistance.
I am hoping you and your human friend with the medallion are suitable enough power level that we can effect some real change, or at least gain real understanding of what his mind state is going through right now. Another experiment for the morning. It will not harm Jiri, I can promise you that. Not physically. Mentally, it might be up to him.
Interesting. As long as it only aims to help and not to harm. That'll help you.
Very well. I'll see you in the morning as well. And then finally, she will end with a visit to Telperion.
Good evening, witch.
Princeling. I have something of an interest in ensuring you do not disclose the knowledge you gained from the king's mind to your ally, the human boy. If you were to make a request of me, so that I might in turn seal the pact with a request that you do not disclose that information, what request would you like me to grant? Choose carefully. If it is above my patience to grant, I will have to roll with the punches. But if you are careful here, I have an enormous amount of power to grant you a boon. Think on it.
I shall,
But I
but
shall require an answer in the morning.
in the morning, I would like to know. Obviously, you would not, nor am I asking you to tell me everything. But why?
If we are able to come to a satisfying agreement in the morning, I will add a sprinkle of sugar on top, and I will answer your question. Sleep well, or trance, or whatever you folks do. And she will take her leave. And I think that will conclude today's session. I do apologize to Jiri / Tim. I was not able to engage you as much as I wish I was, and that's a lack of creativity on my part. But based on our conversations, I know you are somewhat willing to roll with punches for now. So
Yeah, all good.
all right, I appreciate you.